joining the session. So I just want us to wait a little bit to allow other people to join us. I already put a reminder on the group, just nudging people to join us before we kick start. Hello, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining. So whilst we're waiting for other people to join us, let's just rub my on the program so far. How are we finding the program, the courses, the quizzes, the projects, how is it going? I'd like to hear from the core participants. And I have Abdul Qadir on the call, Femilore, Kashema, Bello Nasir, Amotala Abdulakim, Finasa, Salami. Let's hear from you guys. How is the program going?
Good morning.
Good morning, Abdul
Good
Qadir.
morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Uh, Thanks for this opportunity. I want to commend the National Economic Summit Group for the training. I must say they are top notch, and they have not been able to complete my course mainly because navigating to the site is a little bit challenging, and the fact that it is not user friendly with handheld devices. You have to be on your laptop basically if you want to do anything meaningful on the on the on the site. So it's a little bit challenging that way, especially when you want to submit your project and things like that. You have to be on your laptop or a desktop. So it's a little bit in that wise. That's why I've not been able, because most times you're on the road trying to do this, trying to do that. And that's one challenge that I have. But overall, I must say the materials, the information, and novel are things that is needed for the 21st century for the 21st century uh, uh, business and administration and whatever area that one might find it. So that's my own uh, challenges that I was facing. But overall, it's still a very, very good program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdul Qadir. Thank you so much. Yes. I want to say that this is also an avenue for us to give feedbacks, on whatever challenges we're currently experiencing on the platform as well. So it allows us to go back, and rework on the back end. And thank you. I've noted this down, a bit of difficulty using other devices aside the laptop. So thank you very much, Abdul Qadir. Do we have any other person that wants to, share their insights, how the program is going, any other challenges that we're facing to allow us, work on it better? Would love to hear from you, please.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Kashema.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm
How
very
are you
well,
doing,
thank you.
everyone? Okay, so my own comment to it is yeah, it's very impressive, it's very educative. I'm an economist by the way, so it's refreshing my fundamentals and all of that. But thing is, I'm working, I have two other courses that I'm doing. So I may not be able to finish the task week before the next one comes in and all of that. But my ability to be able to go back to ensure that I've completed all of those tasks, that is the link. So it's like the way the dashboard is doesn't show like one course after the other for me to know which one I've completed, which one I've gone halfway, so that at a time where I'm less busy, I can just run through it. all of them, and then give it a blow. Because what I see is you drop a link, and then when you drop the link, I'll run through that one, I'll finish it up. But then I have time to be able to work on other ones, but I don't have access to the links to those other courses. You understand? So like now, let me give you an instance. I'm currently a student at the School of Politics, Policy and Governance, and everything is itemized. You can just see it, so I can run through it and complete it. So I may miss the last 2 weeks because I'm swamped up. But like the moment I have time, I can then run through it and then finish it up. Exactly. So how do I know the one? How do I know when to engage to it? Because I really want to finish.
Okay, thank you very much, Kashema. Just to, reiterate and be sure that, I'm aligned with what you said. So, for instance, in a week, you may not be able to complete your task. And then, I send
Yes.
another link the following week. So you're saying that you are not always able to go back to the previous week to complete, right?
Exactly. So I don't know which one I've completed. I don't know
Okay.
which ones I've not even touched at all. Because like the dashboard is just specific to a particular subject matter, you know?
Mm.
Exactly. So when you run through it, that's it. So to me, I'll feel like, okay, I have completed, I'm up to date. But because I'm in the group, I'll discover that they drop these things weekly. So in my head now, I know there are some that I've not even engaged with before. There are some I know I've completed, but there are some that I feel I've gone halfway, but I've not finished it. So how can I keep track of the ones I've not completed? How do I keep track of the one that I've not engaged at all, so that my next available time I can run through it? Because I want to believe that those of us doing this course all are also working and have other things that I'm doing. I may not be able to complete these things in at particular period as it's assigned, right? But like during our leisure times, our free times, we can just run through it, you know. Exactly.
Thank you very much. I've noted this down, you know, and we would work on this. Thank you so much for the feedback. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we're having this session, aside from the core reason, why it was, stated, the career planning webinar. Yes, it is actually very important to get this feedback because it only just allows us to go back to, to rework, so many things to allow much more flexibility for the participants and, to allow the platform to be also more user friendly, Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please, do we have any other
Yes.
person that wants to, give a
So
feedback?
finally, so are you going to do something about before the course ends, so that like at least we can have like an email to with the links of those classes that we've not completed and the ones we've completed, so that we can run through them before the course ends?
I'll just take this back to the backend team and I would reach out to you directly, and give you update on this if you don't mind.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so do we have any other feedback, please, before we get into the session proper? Any other feedback? Okay, in the absence of none, but you can always drop, I believe we can drop the feedbacks on the chat as well. I would just, collate them, as we proceed during this session. So in the absence of none at the moment, I'd like to just move on, to get into the session proper. And I would want to introduce Demi Ibrahim. She's the head of Workforce Management and Academy in NESG, and she's to kickstart this session. Hello, Bimi.
Hello, Akundayo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Thanks for the intro. And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. So I'm happy that so far the journey has been good, and that the purpose for which we started this cohort, gradually we are seeing that we can achieve it. It's actually for citizens' education, and as much as possible, we want to put out knowledge there. Like someone said, he's already an economist, and I know that most people on this call are professionals, in their respective fields. But as much as we are growing responsible citizens, and we are also expanding volunteer network, to support the work that we do, which is we work in the national interest. We work in the interest of the nation. We work in the interest of the continent. So that's the essence of having, an LMS that will push out, to everyone, to the public, for public use. So having said that, for today, we have called you to discuss career planning. Career planning is critical. Career planning is important. And I'll be sharing my screen so that I get into it without wasting your time. Okay, please be on mute if you are not talking. And if for any reason, if you want to ask questions, please raise your hand and then I will take the question. Even while I'm talking, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Salami, please be on mute. And Ekundayo, as much as possible, let everyone be on mute, except myself,
Yes,
except the person is asking a question or making a comment.
Yes, you can proceed. I've muted everyone.
Okay. Okay, as introduced, my name is Gemi Ibrahim, and I work here with a team here in NESG. I head the academy and the workforce management department. The agenda for this session, on my part of this session, I'm aware that we also have a guest speaker as well from Polaris Bank. But for this session that I'm handling, the agenda is why is career planning important? The need for self-assessment and how should you go about it? Setting SMART goals, career mapping, carrying out career mapping, work-life balance, and then creating your personal brand. So why is career planning important? Career planning is important to plan for a future. It's important for you to stay motivated. It's important for you to stay inspired. And it's important for you to have a sense of fulfillment, as you progress on the journey to where you're going to. In fact, it makes it clearer. You have, you've already set your goals, you know where you're going to. If your desire is to retire as an executive director, or your desire is just to retire as a billionaire, without necessarily having a title out there, there's a path to it. So having a career plan or carrying out this exercise of career planning will help you see that your desire is actually feasible and it's attainable. And it helps you to take a step at a time towards, getting to your desired place or position. So as noted here, it is important to plan for the future. It is important to make informed career decisions. You do career planning to stay focused and motivated. And you also carry out career planning to be competitive, especially in today's world where talent is king, in today's world where the labor market has evolved significantly. Now you hear people talk about the future of work all the time. That future has started. We have entered that future of work, and talent has started molding themselves to be able to thrive in the future of work. And I tell you, it will continue to evolve as the years, goes by. Every year we had on year, we've seen the disruption that technology has caused over the years, and it's still going to go deeper, into the effect of technology. We're in an era where we tell each person, everybody, to always, periodically, ask themselves, how is technology affecting my work? How is technology affecting the direction that I'm going to? Or how can technology enhance what I am doing? How can technology enhance my outputs? How can technology help me achieve my set goals, within the set time frames, or even at a shorter pace? Technology is here not to take anybody's job, but to make us smarter. Is here to make us more efficient. Is here to make us more effective. Excuse me. So the way we think about career in this age and time is different compared to how we used to think of it, previously or in the past. And it affects even operations. In fact, it affects processes. So as a talent, as a professional, to survive or to continue to be relevant in today's marketplace, you need to put your eyes into these things. Okay, how is the world evolving, and how is it affecting the path that I am on? We're still going to get to that slide where we will discuss career path, choosing career path, or enhancing or redefining your career path. So whichever career path you've chosen or that you are on, it's important for you to take a pause, and if you already have a plan, reevaluate that plan, paying attention to current realities. Of course, there's a need to make adjustments. Processes in most organizations have changed. Approach to doing businesses has changed as well. Even to training, the kind of knowledge people acquire. We are in an era where people now learn, to acquire new skills, to relearn. You can't just be stuck in your old ways because it worked in the past. The conditions, the environment that enhanced it to work in the past has changed. And because the environment has changed, you need to understand the dynamics of the current environment and adjust accordingly. The tools of the past are different from the current tools. So career planning is like a thoughtful process, which is also a personal process. You can involve other people in the process, just to validate some things, to get some knowledge, to be guided. But primarily, it is a personal activity that you have to carry out. It can be enhanced with the help of a tutor, or with the help of a mentor, or with the help of a superior, or with the help of some knowledge, of some subject matter expert. But primarily, it is a personal activity that you, as a professional, will have to initiate, will have to be committed to, and periodically you evaluate, your progress and adjust your plans accordingly. So if I ask you on this call, that where would you like to be in the next 5, 10, 15, and 20 years? Can you give me answers? It's rhetorical. You don't have to answer me, but just think to yourself that if I'm asked, or if you are asked, that in the next 5 years, where would you like to be? Not just speaking or responding because you were asked the question, but speaking because you know that give and take, either plus or minus, that either within 4 years or 6 years, you will have certain about it. People do it. When people do career planning, they map it. Oh, I'm currently an officer now, right? And in the next 5 to 7 years, I want to become a manager, right? Oh, or I'm currently a manager. In the next 3 to 4 years, I want to become a director. Or I'm currently a director. Oh, and I want to pivot. I want to pivot to become an entrepreneur. I've been in the corporate settings for a while, but I want to pivot. If I want to pivot to become an entrepreneur, oh, this is the kind of entrepreneur I want to be, right? You then begin to think of personal branding and all that. And you don't want to stay at that place of thinking, which can then become wishful thinking. So what planning will do is it will help you to then map your way to get to that place that you desire and that you have noted for yourself. And also when they ask you the question of identity, that who are you? You should be able to answer it. Career planning will force you to think through this. And once you think through this, so part-time, this is who I am. So in the next 10 years, your identity could have changed. So if you revisit your plan again, if you revisit it periodically, as your person is evolving, as your personal brand is evolving, you are consciously aware of it. You're taking cognizance of it, right? And then it helps your execution of your plan. Are you with me? I hope I'm speaking to people and not to myself.
Yes, we're
Yes,
following.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the benefits of this, while talking, I must have mentioned some of the benefits of career planning, but one is knowledge. You have a knowledge, not just of what you do, but even of yourself. And everything in life starts with the self. You know, when you get it right with yourself, every other thing, most likely you will exceed at them if you put your heart to doing it right. And then you're aware of who you are. That question of identity is critical, you know, because some people assume to be who they are not, and they carry that thing, and it's like they are working contrary to their exact self, which planning would have solved for them, you know, just trying to reconcile. Okay, this is who I think I am, but this is actually who I am. So how do I become who I would like to be? With planning, you can then gradually make that shift to becoming who you should be, or who you want to be, not who you from who you currently have. Okay, got it. Another benefit of carrying out this activity is self-development. There is not how you carry out career planning that you will not do skill analysis, skill gaps, and then plan on, you know, bridging that gap, plan on acquiring knowledge to gain the skills, to cover up for the skills, missing skills. Visibility. Yes, you wonder why some people are well known in the industry and why some are not well known. They must have carried out career planning at some point. Career contentment. There is no how you carry out career planning that you will not be satisfied. You know? And then retirement plan is part of career planning. We can't discuss career planning in totality and fully without mentioning retirement planning. And if you look at all of this, this is awesome. This is a lot. You know, this is enough to give people fulfillment and satisfaction in life. And you know, there is this saying, people say it a lot. And I think there's an element of truth in it, that career is very critical. It's very important. In fact, it is at the center of most of the things that we do. You know, and it is in the space of career that people talk about work-life balance. And when you speak, we're still going to get there. When you speak about work-life balance, it's your totality, your entire person, your total being, right? Career is important. You know, people, you are most likely nothing without career. You know, when people say family is everything, you even get acknowledged in this family setting when you are getting career right. I like to tell people that career is critical, career is important. It is very, very necessary and important to pay attention to career. So this planning, it's good to do it. So the first thing to do is to carry out self-assessment. Carry out self-assessment to discover who you are, to be sure that who you think you are is actually who you are currently. And if there is a gap or a disparity, you should then know how to plan your way from shifting from who you currently are to who you would like to become. And what will taking self-assessment tests help you do? It will help you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your interests, your ambition. There are some tests, already defined tests, psychometric tests, that can guide you. In most cases, those tests are accurate. Maybe not 100%, but if you are true to yourself, if you are truthful in giving responses, it helps. And then if you can pay for certain subscriptions to even get further analysis, it will further help you, it will further guide you. But even with the free versions of some of these assessment tests, you can get started from somewhere. Carrying out self-assessment tests will also help you to evaluate your current job satisfaction and career ambition. So you need to then look for, you can do Google search for the type of test you want, depending on what you want to see. I listed here the Tony Robbins DISC assessment test. It used to be free, but I'm not sure it's free again. You have to pay some amount, to access the report or to even access the test. And there's the high five test. There are other tests, that if you just put it in Google, self-assessment test, quite a number will come out that you can take, and you can start from there. You can start your, it's going to provoke your thoughts and your thinking, and it draws your attention to the journey of self-awareness, and then you begin to then think in line with career. Okay, so if I'm this jolly person, I'm a people person, if I'm this, if I'm that, I have all the characteristics that a marketer should have. So why am I on the desk at all times? Why am I doing a desk job? Why am I a researcher, right? Doing desk research, which is my work all the time. Or even if I decide to remain as a researcher, can I pivot into a different direction within, the same space? Okay, what should I do to get there, right? So those are the thinking. As you're thinking, you are, taking your notes, you're penning it down so that as you visualizing helps your thinking, it helps your creative thinking. It helps you think differently. You can even get your aha moment as you're thinking, you're visualizing it. So it's very important while you're carrying out this process, make use of the space that you have. It could be your table, it could be your walls. Make use of the walls, get your sticky notes, just pen it there. Make use of your connections, your people within your circle that you trust. At their free time, can chat them up, to validate, some of your thoughts about yourself, But like I mentioned, primarily, it is an activity that you have to carry out by yourself. So it's important, take a self-assessment test. I put these two out. There are others you can take. There is one on placement, career placement, that you can take to be sure that the career you are doing is suitable for your personality. Those tests are there, they are free, they are online. Okay. So when you are certain on the question of identity, when you're asked, who are you? You can say, okay, I am Bemi Ibrahim, and I'm a professional. I want to be this, let me use a story of someone I knew a while. When she left school, very brilliant lady, she got a job offer in one of the banks. That was when banking job was really a hot cake. Then people were either looking for jobs in the Big Four or in the banking or in an oil company, the Mobil, the Shell, the Chevron, all the banks. And she got an offer and she turned it down immediately. And when she told me she turned it down, I was like, what? This is an opportunity that most people will die for. Some people are seeking for this. In fact, some people are fasting and praying for this. She said, but it doesn't align with what I want to do. And I was like, what do you want to do? She said, I want to become a writer. I said, a writer? You can be doing this banking job and be writing. She said, no. And that she wants to be a renowned writer. She wants to be known. She doesn't just want to add to the statistics of an author, and she doesn't want to add an author to a profile, but she wants to be distinguished as a writer. She then further said, not only has she declined, but she has already packed her bags too. That she was leaving Lagos. She was leaving Lagos and returning to Ile-Ife, that's Obafemi Awolowo University, to start a master's in literature, English literature. I couldn't understand it because I don't know why you want to leave salary, to go back to university. But she has that defined, that this is where she was going. And I followed her progress over the years. Today she's successful. Today she's in New York. Today you can't even access her to say, help me write. You have to go through, a management, which is a company, which is a big publishing company, the same company that publishes Chimamanda Adichie. And she's been under the tutelage and mentoring of a lot of prominent authors and writers. She's done, beyond that master's that she returned to Ile-Ife to do, she's done 2 additional masters, one in the UK, one in the US, on creative writing. Not only that, she's done so much along that line. She's gotten into a lot of, quite a number of fellowships, residential, writers residency. And she's doing well. She's the author of Stay With Me and a Spell of something. I've seen her nominated for Etisalat's Enigma Award a lot. So I've seen her growth. That's someone that knew where she was going and defined it, that to get to this place, this is how I should. And another way to, when trying to set goals, you want to start your thinking. There is a lot that creative thinking will help you achieve in setting goals, is to look for a mentor. You could have different types of mentor. The one that you can access and a mentor that you may not be able to access physically or even digitally. There are people like that, but the mentor is through their lives that they've put out there. And you follow their lives, you follow their progress, and you try to walk in their steps. Oh, okay, at this point, when this person left school, this person did an internship. Okay, I'm doing an internship too. When this person finished internship, this person took certain certifications. Oh, I'm taking these certifications. Oh, after taking this, or what is the equivalent of the certifications now? Because certifications of those times may not be available again, or may not be as relevant, currently. Right. Before, CFA wasn't that popular, FRM wasn't that popular, depending on the sector where you work. But today, it is popular. Today, if you carry SCA, yes, you will be acknowledged. But people look for bigger certifications, ACCA, they want to see your MBA, and all that. And the world is evolving. The workspace is evolving. So even as you are following those people's bio or auto bio, you want to be relating it to the current times. That what is happening in the current times. So it's important. So in setting smart your goals, ensure that they are smart, they are specific. And how can you even set goals if you've not carried out, the self-assessment? If you do not ask yourself that question of identity, who am I? And it's a question that you need to be asking from time to time. That you define that a while ago doesn't mean you shouldn't redefine it, because of environmental impact on our person, on our personality. Whether we like it or not, we get affected or influenced by the kind of exposure, experiences that we're taking every day on a daily basis. And that's why we try to tell people not to overexpose themselves to certain toxic environments. Because whether you like it or not, if you think you are coping, you are just thinking you are coping, but gradually you're damaging yourself, because out of the multitude of what you've taken in is what will begin to manifest unconsciously, beyond damaging your health. In fact, in terms of behavioral tendencies as well, and the way your mind begins to work, the way you begin to think will be changing, based on environmental impact and experiences. So we try to tell people as much as possible, as much as it is within your control, which I think everybody should have control of, the kind of environment they expose themselves to. You don't have to stay on that job if it's not making you happy. You don't have to stay on that job if it's very toxic. If you don't walk away from it, how will you free yourself to seek for other opportunities? There are myriads of opportunities out there. There are lots and lots of opportunities. Even as the world is evolving, more opportunities are opening up. We're in an era where, you don't, if at the best of talents these days, they choose not to take on full-time role again, because taking on full-time feels like a waste of their time, because, and employers are now understanding it. Employers are understanding that we have to dance to the tune of flexibility, offer flexible conditions so that we can still, have a big share or a bigger share of the time of the talent, highly talented ones, the high flyers. Because in this age and time, when you see anybody that is seeking for job security, the truth is most of them are laid back, are talents that are laid back. We're in an economy where some people are crying the economy is not doing well, and some people are earning high in dollars and they live in this country and they're not doing Yahoo, they're not doing anything illegal or shady, because of the global mobility of talent. You can be in Africa and be working in Asia. You can be in Asia and be working in Africa. And thinking of even the way opportunities are all over the world, So that's why you need to be thinking differently, that there are loads and lots of opportunities out there, and that should guide your activities. Not seeking for job security, not paying attention. That's why you don't even have to stay in that toxic environment, because a toxic place is full of time wasting activities. It's full of time wasters, because emotionally you're drained. And when you're drained emotionally, how will you be at your best? So that question of identity is very important. Self-awareness, very, very critical. When you get it right there, you can then begin to think of, goals. Where do I want to be in the next 5 years? Where do I want to be in the next 10 years? And you should be real with yourself when trying to set goals. It should be true. Don't set vague goals, And if, for example, I say in the next 5 years, I want to be, let's say, a well-known consultant that you can't just resist in my area. When you think of any job to be done in my area of expertise, when you think of the first 3 names, my name should come up there. That could be someone's goal, right? And if that's someone's goal, you should now begin to think, how do I attain it if I'm not yet there? Or if I'm even far from it, how do I get close to it? And give yourself timelines. And that's why we talk of setting SMART goals. Make it specific. What is that goal? Make it measurable. How do I measure progress? How do I know if I'm close or I'm not even moving from the same point? Ensure it is attainable. Ensure it is feasible. And how do you know if a goal is feasible or achievable? Do your research. Find out what is happening, what is possible, what are the literature available saying, about that thought, about the idea, and believe in possibilities. There's no how you go through this process of career planning without thinking creatively. And in creative thinking, we tell people that you have to wonder like a child. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe even in some of the things your brain is telling you are silly. The brain says it's silly. Okay, but I'm still going to take it in, right? Build on it and then do some preliminary research, to begin to gain confidence in certain things. But setting goals, ensure it is relevant. Mentioned this and I'm going to emphasize on it again, that move with the times. Know what is happening in current times. This is 2024. Don't stay in 2004. If you apply the techniques of 2004 that worked very well then in 2024, you might fail. You might fail. We're in an era where there are lots of young people thriving. There are lots of baby boomers to thrive in, unlike before, where you need a lot of experience, a lot of years of experience to be able to open certain doors. But in this age and time, in fact, those with the years of experience, they need people with the knowledge, So we're in an era where you have to chase that knowledge. You have to follow, you have to be aware of what is happening within your space, and as much as possible, go horizontal, go wide, so that you have vast knowledge. And when setting your goals, also be time bound. Always put a timeline to it. That helps you. That helps you keep up, the kind of energy that will help you get to the place that you want to be in good time. If you don't put a deadline or a timeline to a set goal or to an activity or to a task, you may not even be well motivated. You may not even know you are not motivated. That you are positive about an activity or a goal doesn't mean you will attain it. But if you put a timeline to it, for example, if you want to take a certification, for example, maybe you want to write a CFA exam, or you want to write ACCA, or you want to write FRM or PMP, or any of those certifications, you put a timeline to it. So, okay, by December 2024, or by December 2026, or by December 2027, or by May, 2025, I want to have attained this, And then you then begin to do your research. Is it possible? Oh, to have the CFA title, or I go through 3 stages of exam. Oh, to write a stage of exam, I need minimum social number of months to prepare, right? Oh, even to prepare, I need this, I need that. Oh, to take the exam. Oh, the cost implication. Oh, with my current earnings, can I pay for this? Can I pay for tutorials? Can I pay for materials? Oh, all the subscriptions, can my wallet, carry it at this time? Or what can I do differently? Oh, how do I manage my time? How do I reschedule activities? Begin to think, when you put it, and if you should extend your timeline, or if your timeline is realistic. And if you are being lazy at a timeline, maybe PMP, some people read for it in 2 months or 1 month and they pass it. And you are giving yourself 12 months. I want to rethink it. Oh, is it because I have a lot of activities? Is it because my schedule is very tight and heavy? Or is it because I'm just naturally lazy? Or have you been procrastinating? Have you been extending timelines? Setting this goal and following this process will help you keep yourself in check. You can also have for yourself an accountability partner. Your accountability partner could be anybody. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be a colleague. It could be a mentor. It could be anybody you can look up to, and anybody that has your best interest, in mind and at heart. And someone that is also knowledgeable, because you can't be thinking and discussing with someone that cannot match your level of reasoning. They would only draw you back. Right. So set your goals, set them in short term and in long term, and then create your action plans with timelines. When you create action plans, don't just create them, implement them, action them, actually. Action the plans. That means take actions, and then evaluate periodically. In setting short-term and long-term goals is a popular word. One thing we do often is some of these words that we use often on a day-to-day basis, we don't think through them deeply in application. And that's what led to putting this next slide together on short-term versus long-term goals. Of course, when we say short-term goals, we know the time frame is short as well, within months or a period of a year. Some will even say, okay, between 0 months to 2 or 3 years is short-term. Some define their short-term as 0 to 6 months. Some define it as 0 to 12 months. It depends. While long-term, of course, it takes several months to years to actualize it. You think in terms of the scope of what you want to achieve. For short-term, is actually immediate and very focused. Like it. This is it. For example, if let's say you want to build a skill, and the skill is critical for the work that you're doing at the moment. And it's a skill that you can easily acquire if you devote time to it. As for any skill, it requires time to build expertise. But for the knowledge you need, at least to cover some task or to start working with the working knowledge, you're telling yourself, okay, there's a subscription I discover, okay, for this skill, I'm going to subscribe. I'm subscribing within a month, right? And I'm going to commit to taking a lesson on a day-to-day basis. Not will I wholly take a lesson, I will also practice. I will begin to use it in the course of my work, right? In your working documents, you have a way you're already applying the skill to enhance your output, to enhance your speed as well and accuracy, and even your confidence level. So that's short term, that's immediate, that's focused. You just know this is what I want to achieve and this is how I want to do it. These are the steps I need to take and I'm taking them right away. But for long term, it requires some strategic thinking, that may shift, that may evolve with time because it's long term. And as you're fixing things, putting things in place, you begin to adjust to them, so that you're not just rigid and not going anywhere. And in most cases, for every long-term goal, you have the short-term version of it because that's the way you can actualize it. And you think from the angle of specificity. For short-term goals, they're usually actionable, like I've mentioned, and specific. While the long-term is broader, requires some breaking down, into sort of smaller bits for you to actualize them over time. And like I said, you have to be flexible with it. As the world is evolving, as your space is evolving, you need to be adjusting, that your long-term goals as well. Also think from the angle of planning, short-term requires less planning time because, they are swift, you want to implement them almost immediately. And for long-term, it requires long-term planning, So when you have your goals, try to break them into the short term and into the long term. And your long-term goals, break them into short-term goals as well. And you begin to implement them in bits. And you begin to see results. And when you are seeing results, there is fulfillment naturally will come. You'll be energized, you'll be motivated to move on to the next thing, to carry on, bigger tasks, to take on bigger tasks. And the world around you will be blessed because you are fulfilled, and who will inspire you? It is you. It is you that will inspire yourself. Fine, people around you can inspire you, but your chief encourager is you. Nobody can encourage you the way, you will encourage yourself. We often say that every day you live without being inspired is a wasted day. So every day you wake up, you want to intentionally inspire yourself. And how do you inspire yourself? Things that are within your control. The happy things, the things you enjoy doing, do them. The things that are tough, that are not so easy to do, but you still have to do them anyway because you know that you have to carry them out on the way to where you want to be or where you would like to be. So find a way to incorporate happy moments into those even tough activities, into those tough tasks or tough endeavors that you have to be involved in, right? So inspire yourself on a day-to-day basis. Every day is a daily thing. Okay, so career mapping. When you carry out career mapping, you are sitting down and telling yourself, if you're at the entry level, you're just starting out, you're telling yourself, how do I want to go about it? You will still ask your question from the self-assessment to asking yourself the question, where do I want to see myself in the next 2 to 3 years, in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Oh, if I say I'm a professional and I've had 20 years of experience, what kind of experience or experiences do I want to count in my 20 years? Do I want to say that in 20 years, I've been a teller of a bank or in a bank or a teller in different banks? Or do I want to say I've had 20 years of career and I've done this, I've done that, I can call myself an expert in these. And when I call my expert, when I open my mouth to talk, I speak like an expert. Even without calling myself an expert, people know this one has knowledge, has experience in this area. you manifest success over the years? Or do you want to be, okay, you started as a driver, you want to remain a driver, even after 20 years, you want to become a chief driver? It could be a goal for some people, but it is important that you define that goal. And so there are different paths, career paths. It could be the vertical path. The vertical path is the linear one. You choose it, you enter an organization, maybe at entry level or at whatever officer level, and you begin to grow in the organization till you retire or till you move onto another organization and you continue to grow there as well. Another linear path could be within the same space, maybe as a marketer or as a project manager or as a project, you start as a project assistant, you become a project coordinator, and from a project coordinator, you become a project officer, and then project manager, and then project director. And it goes like that. And from there, you pivot into something that is similar to project, or you enter into management team, you become, of course, project director. Maybe you become an ED or an MD in an organization. That's a vertical path. You could say you want an horizontal path. For the horizontal path, you are growing, but you're spreading, meaning you're acquiring knowledge, in different areas. Growing horizontally could mean that you have some skills in IT. You can also conveniently do HR, or you can also take on some project roles. You can sit down and be a virtual assistant. You can be that writer and do it well. You can be an editor, take on editing jobs. You can take on multiple jobs. Horizontal path could be good for professionals in corporate setting and also for those in freelancing as well. But then for each one has its pros and its cons, but then it depends on what you want to achieve. Some people are very comfortable with, especially people that enter in some organizations that we define as good organizations, the blue chips, people that work in multinationals, in international corporations, with good working conditions. And they know that, there's a career path for them. They can continue to grow within the system, climb through the ranks, and then become an executive in the organization. That's a vertical path. In fact, depending on the policy of some organization, it's been defined. You spend 2 years and your appraisals, turn out good, you continue to be promoted, till you retire or till, you're tired and you want to go. So that's a vertical path. Vertical path could be very convenient for some people, while the horizontal path for people that are hungry for knowledge, hungry for mastery in different areas, maybe not as experts, because there's no how you will be able to do cloud computing, do project management, do HR, do professional editing, and be, a core expert in all the fields. But it's also a path that fulfills some people. There's a cyclical path. That's the path that most entrepreneurs take. They build competence, they follow through a process, to cycle, to close a deal, to deliver on a task, or end-to-end retail process. They end it and they start again. They start again. Their career goes like that, year upon year, year upon year, year upon year, till they retire. And they're also fulfilled doing that. Some freelancing jobs are also like that. It's cyclical. It's not the same activity, it's a process. They go through it, and over the years, you begin to grow with the experience you've acquired, previously. And there's the experts part, which is similar to vertical, but it's not vertical, because vertical could be that you're in an organization, you are growing and you are still going through rotational path, but every 2 years they're promoting you. I know, for example, I know a man in Mobile that started as an IT person. As IT, it grew the ranks till they moved them to customer service. From customer service, they moved him to fleet. From fleet, they moved him to HR director, and he retired as an HR director. So that's a vertical path, but for someone that went through some rotation within the organization. But expert path is saying, oh, I'm a researcher, and this is my field, and I'm going to stay there, begin to continue to grow over the years, doing, the same type of, on the same path, not the same type of job. Because as you grow, of course, the kind of jobs you do will evolve as well. Just like the food an adult will eat is not the same that a baby, a toddler will eat. What a baby will eat is not the same as what a toddler will eat. What a toddler will eat is not the same as what teenagers will eat. And what teenagers eat, similar to what adults eat, but different. And when you start training to elderhood or old age, what you eat, is different. The same thing is, similar or applicable in this context of work as an expert. Expert of 5 years is different from an expert of 20 years, the same thing. Okay. So when you then say to yourself, tell yourself the truth of which kind of path suits your person, suits your desire. We have different desires as individuals. So you need to define that to yourself. You've said, okay, this is the path I want. I just want to work hard and ensure that I get a job, in an international organization. Or some people's goal is just to earn in foreign currency. Excuse me. And they begin to do their research to know, okay, what kind of job can I do to earn in foreign currency? And then this is the skill, digital marketing, will get me job in this UK company. Okay. They begin to say, build skills around that area. And they enter the role, and they continue to grow there, That's what planning can do for you or can help you achieve. So when you've passed through stage 1, you can then do skill development, your skill analysis. Oh, okay, to get here, what do I need? These are the skills. And it's even easier these days with ChatGPT. All you need to do is, once you know where you are going to, go and type inside ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT, what are the skills required, to become a marketing director? In 5 years, I'm an officer. It's going to bring it out to you. I begin to ask yourself, okay, do I have these skills? Do I have these skills? Do I have these skills? Okay, at this, in leadership, this is where I am. How do I get to this level? What should I do? Oh, do I need an MBA? Or do I need some executive level training? Or if depending on where you are in career, you want to take some technical training, you want to take some certifications. It depends. And then you ask yourself, okay, I've identified the gaps. What trainings should I take? Can I afford this one? And what type? What mode? Should it be virtual? Do I have the time and the patience to be going to a venue, or can I just sit in the comfort of my home or my office and move at my pace and learn and still achieve the same results? So you could do training, you could do certification, you could choose to go back for formal education, take another degree or take a diploma, and you could also seek for mentorship, in an area. You gain skills also through mentoring, and you can apply for internship jobs. I tell people that at any level where you are, you can do internship. There's nothing like you're too old to take on internship. So I have a friend who is an HR expert. In fact, he's an HR director. And, people plan their retirement differently. So as he's planning his own retirement, he chose to pivot into IT, right? And he works in an IT firm. He's an HR in an IT firm. And he asks for internship, in their cloud department, cloud computing department. Right. Even at his level, what that meant was some other external engagements he had to shed off so that he can focus on his internship. So think of what will work for you. How will you acquire the skill that you need on the way to where you are going to? And the third stage is networking. You need people, in this space, in this your career journey, you need people. As you need people in every other space, but in career, you will thrive when you go with people, So you need to build and maintain your professional relationships. I can see a hand up. So I'm going to hold my thoughts and take your question. Please speak. Unmute yourself and speak.
Good morning. Good afternoon, sorry. My name is Abdul Qadir. I want to appreciate your eloquent and thoughtful statements, and they're very good. And we need talks like this to be able to move forward. Some of us are already on a career path, and we already have, like you said, job security, which is relative to be realistic in today's world, like you have stated. It's a thing we all have to understand. My own thoughts would be, if you're already in a career path like that, some career paths actually do not depend on, like a person in government service now doesn't require additional certification to move forward. You just have to pass necessary internal exams to move forward. But like you said, it's always good to be ready for a lot of lateral or vertical change of your career path. Now, my question really is, in this certain uncertainty braided economic system or economic situation we have in Nigeria, where your thought is not just about your feeling happy about the kind of job you're doing. You have bills to pay, so many things to think about. How can you, already in a career path, might not be easy to just leave it to move away? So what would you advise people like that, especially those in government service? Government service is full of a lot of challenges, and most times people go to work with unfulfilled dreams, unfulfilled purposes, unfulfilled so many things. Job satisfaction is zero in such establishment. Just going in, get your paycheck at the end of the month, and then, because so many things are not working, even as a professional, what you know is not the best. To leave will be a very, very big economic challenge for you. What will be your advice in such circumstances?
Okay, thank you. And when you mentioned that in public sector, in public service, what I noted was individuals have different dreams and what fulfills them and what motivates them and what their desire is. If you are not finding it fulfilling, because if your motivation is to make money, you can make money in public service. If you are making it and you are good with it, stay there. But for some people, they can't just, they have dreams, they can't. So that's why we have some people that are in public service or just for the money that comes from it, but they are doing other things, which some people we categorize that as being overemployed. It depends on how you look at it. But if you're already on the path, you've even grown in that path, and you have a desire, maybe you want to make money, you want to become, let me say, $10, which is possible. It is. You want to begin to rethink it. So what should I do differently? What are the courses I should take? What are the associations I should join so that I can network? And you join associations not just to network. By the time you begin to network, right, you begin to think differently, and your network determines not just your worth, your entire person. Because you begin to think differently. Maybe you work in public service and you just dress anyhow, it's acceptable, nobody questions you. But by the time you begin to enter some circles, you can't just enter anyhow. You don't want to enter and feel intimidated. You want to stand tall and be confident in yourself. And you're telling yourself, you want to do this, I need money. So what should I do to get money? You're then asking yourself questions of, okay, how do people make this money? What are they doing? What are they doing differently? I was in a data science and business analytics class, and I can tell you that 98%, if not 100% of everybody in that class are people that are almost at the peak of their career, and some of them are even about to retire, because when we now entered mentoring class because it comes with mentoring package. So one thing the mentor told the group of people, the group that I was in, was that your people are old and some of you even have money more than he, the mentor, and you're doing fine. Why are you choosing this path? And people start talking. There was one man in Dubai, in a Nigerian too, that said, I'm thinking of my retirement, right? I'm looking at my energy level. Currently, I'm an engineer, right, in a multinational firm. I'm retiring as a director, but then I know this is the life I've built. So I have savings, but I'm thinking, this is the things I want to do. To do this, I still need to be working, and I know I still have the brain, I still have the ability, I can stretch myself a little bit. If I do this is what I want to use this course to achieve. And the course was in dollars. It committed some amount of money and it's time, and the fact that it is, when you say painful learning, it means you go through some, to achieve it. So it's a commitment that he had to, commit to, even as he was approaching retirement. So such a person now retires, and people see he still spends the way he was spending when he was in active service. People see that he's even richer in retirement. Because if he goes the path that he had defined, because he did his research, that if I do this, I can do this and this, even become a consultant at this level, and I can bring some people on them. He did his analysis. So if he follows through that his plan, and he starts making more money even in retirement, some people will now be looking at him as he kept money somewhere. Fine, he must have savings, but maybe not his savings, helping him to live that luxury life after retirement. So it depends on what your drive is. And whatever the drive is what will motivate you to take action. I don't know if I've answered you well. For people in public service, excuse me, let me just connect my laptop charger. Okay, as I was saying, in public service, that depends on what your own aspiration as an individual, as a professional is, but I like to tell people, even if you want to pivot, don't pivot too far from where you are. Just look for example, if in the office where you have, if what you do is, depending on the MDA that you work for, so that will guide what you want to do. For example, if you already work with ICPC or EFCC, maybe you now want to go into, forensics and some other things. There's a path, there's a learning path you can go through. There's an association path you can go through, and then PM. So don't pivot too far. You are not, you don't want to go from being an administrator all your 32, 35 years, then you want to go into data analytics or business analytics. It's achievable, but it's going to be a painful, a tough journey. So we say you can pivot, but pivot closely, to where and regardless of the path you choose, there's always a way to make money in every path. That is what each person should find out. When you then find out that, move closer to in that direction. I don't know if I've answered your question, but I believe so. I can see another hand up.
Yeah, you have actually. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Mr. Oresoya, your hand is up. You want to talk, or should I go on? Okay, I will just go on. So I was on stage 3, building networking, building relationships. Building relationships is very critical on this career journey. It is important because you will enjoy the benefit of the network you've built. And that's why we emphasize behavior. We say we hire for behavior and we train for skills, right? And we hire for we hire the person with the right attitude, regardless of the skill level. If the person is teachable over a period of time, you just think of it. If your business can, okay, manage for like say 3 months, okay, we can build this person, or 6 months, or even 12 months, okay. And then after the 12 months, with this kind of attitude, oh, you know, we will meet up and we will meet up with the lost time, or the lost time wouldn't really match or count, you know, any longer. So it's very important to pay attention to behavioral tendencies while at work, and you have to be intentional about it. And I'll still go back to my point on staying in a toxic environment. Mr. Abdulkadir mentioned the state of the economy, and because of that, people just stick to what they have. I'm telling you that things are even easier now than before. Easier because of global mobility, global talent mobility, because you can choose to, there are different routes to relocating now, you know. You can choose to either relocate if you want to, and even if you choose not to relocate, you can still get jobs. You can be in Nigeria and be working. You know, there are quite some remote jobs, but then you want to ask yourself, what are the jobs in demand for that kind of arrangement? So you want to acquire skills in that area so that you can get such jobs and be earning such money. You know, there's a young lady that got a job. She lives in Nigeria. She's even relatively a junior staff, and she earns 110,000 USD per annum. For someone that lives in Nigeria, that's money. That's a lot of money, right? So I would say that looking at the state of economy is not enough reason. You know, those that are determined are still making money in this economy. You can be living in Nigeria and your money is coming from elsewhere. The same way people are living in Canada and they are making money from out of Africa. They are making money from, you know, Nigeria. So it's just about looking out for those opportunities. And how do you see the opportunities? You know, you put yourself in environments that will help your brain to be thinking fast to see the opportunities. You will be influenced, you know, by the company that you keep. So that's why we are saying associate correctly, associate to match, you know, your goals, associate to match your dreams. You know, don't just stay with the available people. Push yourself to be in the right midst, in the right settings. You know, define your values, right? After defining your values, then push in the direction where you want to be. You know, it has to come with intentionality. You just have to be intentional rather about it. And even these days, the world is evolving. Things have changed. Even those that are born with silver spoon will not survive the world that we are in if they are not intentional. Unlike before, you know, unlike before. Because education and this globalization is now an equalizer. You know, so you now see even the rich people, you see them pressuring their children. You have to wake up. You can't rely on this well. You know. So seek mentors and advisors. And like I said, some mentors, you can have access to them. Some mentors will be from afar, and some you don't even have access. Some mentors are even, you know, not alive. They're dead, but their works are there to guide you, right? And participate in industry events, you know, whatever field you have. Ensure you join an association, be it local, be it an international. It comes with some benefits as well, those associations, because you get to know what is happening. You get to have access to insider information. You get to network with people, you know, across different locations, and people at different organizations, people with different experiences, people with different level of exposure. You know, it's a way of making yourself visible, of giving yourself visibility. If you don't push yourself out there, how people even think of that, oh, you exist somewhere, or you have certain skills, or you have something to offer, you know? And then the stage 4 is your experience and exposure. What kind of experience are you building? Are you just waking up every morning and going to your place of work? Are you just climbing that career without minding the kind of experience that or exposure you are putting yourself to, or that you are building? So it's very important to be intentional, you know, every year, year in, year out. Tell yourself, as you're starting this year, by the end of this year, I want to be able to say that I have knowledge in this area. I've carried out some things, some tasks in this area. I've carried out some projects in this area. Oh, how will I achieve it? Oh, even if I'm not getting a full-time role, maybe I should volunteer. Oh, let me volunteer. Oh, to volunteer? Okay. Am I to volunteer? Do I want to volunteer with an organization or even volunteer with an individual? Because that's also a thing to do. You begin to think, how do you know, and it is when the will is there, the brain will think of the way. Yeah, so and like I mentioned in creative thinking, there is no judgment zone. Some ideas will come to you, silly ideas, don't throw them away, pen them, think, start to use your words, start to use your tables, visualize, those ideas and begin to think through, then do some research. You don't have to have deep research knowledge, to carry out research. You have internet access to internet, begin to read. What are people saying? There are different blogs that teach, not just gossip blogs, blogs, career blogs and all that. Read up, and there are subscriptions too that you can do. You get notifications, some on a daily basis, some on a weekly basis, some once a month. You get to know what's happening, what is trending in this sector, what is trending in this field, so that would guide your thinking. Your mind is open, to the opportunities out there. There are lots of them. In fact, there are lots of sites you can visit, to get some jobs, to get some exposures, to get some access, But you need to research a little to access these things, right? So seek opportunities for functional experiences. Don't just stay where you are. Be open. To acquire experiences not too far from where you are so that it won't be too hard on you. So when you're pivoting or you are enthusiastic or you are fantasizing about skill in another field, let it be close, to what you currently do so that you won't feel it too much or you won't be confused. Okay, so this is an example of career mapping. I've been using marketing as an example. So this is someone that is currently a marketing officer. And the goal for this person, his own end goal, is to become a marketing director. So you could define it. Okay, for someone else, the end goal is to become a cash machine. Will someone become a cash machine by becoming a marketing director? Maybe no. So for another marketing director, their aim is to pivot into entrepreneurship. But for this one, his own desire is to end up and retire as a marketing director. So this is a sample of what short-term goal could be. Okay, even as an officer that I am, I have to be able to be solid as an officer. When they say, this person is a marketer, when they say, go and close that deal, in fact, any room I enter, just give me 5 minutes. I can close any deal. I want to get to that level. How do I get to that level? Okay, maybe I should take a certification in marketing to even open the door for myself and even get some more skills. Okay, or maybe I should volunteer for a lead marketing campaign. There was a recruitment we did, and at the interview, someone said, oh, I was on the Basi team. That was when the Basi force was, newly out. And the fact that we heard that, yeah, this person is on the, or was on the Basi team, I would say, oh, they must know what they are doing because they really, did well in terms of, how they got the attention of the world. Yeah, I hope I'm not exaggerating of everybody. I mean, especially in Africa. Right. So you can volunteer. And if you find out the person may not even be a lead in the team, but at least if you call the leader of the team and mention the person's name, oh, yes, I know this person. So you can volunteer, to be a part of a campaign or to lead a campaign and also be a professional network. So this person has said that as short-term goal, which are very achievable. And the next steps is create a task, add timelines to it. Okay, for the certification in digital marketing, the one I can afford though is the one they do on LinkedIn. I can achieve it in 2-3 months. Add a timeline to it. Take it on your calendar. Oh, we are in July. By October or before October ended, I should have this certificate. Not just having this certificate. I want to commit to actually learning and learning to apply it. Okay. For the marketing campaign, it could be within the space, within a formal work setting where you will earn money for it. And it could be within a volunteering setting. What is important is that You want to be able to reference yourself to say that, I can, because I've done it before, right? In whichever capacity, either in a volunteering capacity or in full-time capacity. Attend industry conferences, attend industry events. The events are always everywhere. Some are free, some are paid. Look at your pockets. Okay, I can afford the one, okay, in Naira, I can afford the one in the US. I can even travel for some, right? Or, oh, I can't even afford it now. Oh, I have other needs, of the priorities. Okay, so, but I can attend some online. Oh, there's some free, or virtual ones. Oh, they're cheaper or they're even free. So just do what is suitable for you. Right. And that put a timeline to it, And then for this person, his own long-term is to advance to a marketing manager role in 5 years. Is it possible? Yes. Within 5 to 7 years, okay, maybe he can, but to get there, there are some things he needs to do. He also wants to gain experience in strategic marketing. He wants to be able to do marketing strategy. Okay. Another long-term goal is that he wants to add MBA, to his portfolio, to his degree. Okay. Then he then needs to break it down into steps. How will he achieve this? Okay. Periodically, he should seek for opportunities, higher opportunities, so that he can start growing gradually. If you move jobs, if you jump jobs, you'll grow, better than someone that stayed put, in a particular organization. So you can do that. Part of the steps, just keep applying for opportunities while you are also doing your current job well, so that even if, the new door has not opened, at least on the current one, you're growing as well, and take additional responsibilities related to marketing planning. So every opportunity to do marketing planning or to do strategy, read more about it, or, go through the process of doing it. So because it's by doing that, you get to know how to do it better. Right. And then for MBA, okay, I said, okay, for the MBA, he then needs to break it down into a short-term goal. This MBA, can I achieve it in 3 years? I have the money for MBA now. Do I even have the time for it? Do I even have the mental or the brain space for it? Okay, I should have the brain space for it maybe in the next 2-3 years. Right. And this person is defining it, putting a timeline to it. Okay, maybe in 2 years' time or maybe in 18 months' time, I can then start to do some little research. Which university do I want to go to? What kind of program do I want to do? Maybe distance learning so that I can still remain on my job and be earning. I have a family to feed. Or I can just take my savings and go into a full-time program, right? So that I can get the full value, right? And you want to weigh your pros and cons, look at your situation, circumstance, okay? And then with your timelines, you are moving gradually. You have your schedule where you are ticking it, and all that. This is because it's a presentation. Ordinarily, a schedule like this should be on Excel so that it's easier for you to monitor, to move through it. And this person is counting years. At the end of looking at a 5-year goal to become a manager, and the 3rd year, this person is looking at it, is my goal feasible? Yes, I think it is feasible. And in the 5th year, yes, this person is a manager already, or almost a manager, right? It's looking like it. And once you hit that goal, you are moving again. Okay, to now become this marketing director, I still need to, maybe I need to then move to become even a senior manager, acquire more skills, acquire more confidence, carry on more work to broaden my portfolio, right? And then begin to aim for higher role, higher job, create visibility for yourself, build that personal brand, till you hit that goal of becoming a marketing director within the set timeline. So it's as simple as that. Just work with an Excel and then map it. Short-term, long-term. Your long-term, then you create short-term goals from your long-term goals. Always make them specific. How are you measuring your progress? What will you, in 3 years' time, what will you use to measure progress? Is it just by becoming a marketing manager? What kind of marketing manager do you want to become? Okay, is there a particular salary you want to be earning at a particular period? Or what fulfills you? Is it money or something else? Is it the title? Or is it the portfolio of deliverables, that you've achieved over time? So define these things, it will help. Right. And when we are talking of career planning, we also have to speak to work-life balance. Because if well-being is critical, well-being is important in today's world. If you have the peace of mind, if you have the good mind frame, if you have the health for it, it's easier for you to action your plans. If your body is aching all over, if you're constantly having migraine, if you are in and out of hospital all the time, or emotionally you are drained, or home is not doing well, there's no how you'll be able to focus on your goal. So work-life balance is important. And who is going to help you balance it? It is you. It is not your employer. Fine, employer can have policies, but the truth is, it is still you that you need to find that balance, and you need to know your situation and how things work for you. But importantly, carry the consciousness that you want to have a work-life balance. That is important for everybody. Because as with any business owner, as with any capitalist, the employer wants to make profit, but now in this industry 5.0, they are not getting it right. That when we ensure our people are okay, and there's a way we'll make, we will achieve our results. Their productivity level will be higher, when they are well taken care of. And I like to use this case study, this organization as a case study, where staff, the happiness, in fact, it's not just that I'm paraphrasing it, it's an expression that we used to say then, that the happiness of our staff is of importance. In fact, it's the number one reason why we are here. And in return, we see the results in their output. The business was really doing well. It was in financial services. And in Q1, we would have met the budget for the year, right? And even the bonuses are good. It was investment firm, so it was easy. You need to see the policies. The policies are people-centered, are people-friendly. The organization is thinking for you. And because I was in HR, I understand these things as we are refining the policies, to suit our people's situations, their circumstances, to just ensure that they are okay. Whether you are male or female, or you choose not to identify. Okay, even that time, this gender thing wasn't popular, right? So employers are now understanding that when we put people first, the business too will move. But for those of you that are working in places where employers still don't care, it is your responsibility to find that balance by yourself. It is important. It is important. Define what motivates you. Ensure that you are paying attention to the things that matter. Your work matter a lot. Defines your status in the society. But people, family matters as well. The community you keep matters as well. Your health matters as well. Begin to pay attention, to healthy habits. Begin to pay attention, to begin to be intentional about wellness. Is critical. And when you speak of wellness, it's not just healthy and not sick. Spiritually, you should be well. Emotionally, you should be well. So if you see that you are rising and falling, collapsing, emotionally, then you may want to pay attention to it. Build emotional stability, that can weather any storm. How do you do that? There are lots of literature out there that you can read up. You can seek for mentorship, right? You can pay attention to it. In this age of lots of content on YouTube, look for one with that is believable. Just look at the profile of the content creator. Oh, this person, there's some credibility to this. Pay attention to it. When you devote your time to it, there's a way your mindset shifts. The way you think about things begins to shift. The way your emotions respond to, begins to change. So whatever it is, you need to. So some people, it is financial wellness. When they're well financially, every other thing that is doing them will be all right. They want to pay attention to that as well. That should be a balance. You shouldn't just be working and not having money. You want to think of things too. So that's why this slide is here. Just in your private moment, think through it. Think through it. How's your career going? How's your health? When was the last time you went for a checkup? Schedule one. They're not as expensive as you think. Excuse me. Prevention is actually better than cure. Check, know your status, how your organs are working, your finances, how are you planning? How are you saving? The truth is, there's nothing like I'm not earning enough. If you think because you're earning small, if you're earning 100K, for example, and you cannot save from the 100K, I bet it, when you are earning 1 million, you will still not save from the 1 million, right? And people have put out content there on how to manage money. Seek for it, look for it. Some people will tell you, if you earn your money and you can pay 10% to the church, why can't you pay yourself 10%? Pay yourself 10%, put the 10% also in emergency fund. Tell yourself that I am my own lender. I'm not going to borrow money from people, right? Even if emergency happens, maybe you cannot access your funds, and for some reasons you have to borrow. You are knowing that as soon as I can access my fund, I pay off. I'm not borrowing because I don't have at all. So begin to build it, and it requires a mindset. So if it is 100K you earn, you're telling yourself, I'm going to spend like someone that earns 70K. Why? Because for people that pay tithes, they already pay 10K tithes. Hey, if I can pay tithe, that means I can pay myself 10K. That's 10% for myself. And if I can pay tithe, pay myself 10K, I must have emergency fund, 10K. Then that I earn 100K means I earn 70K. Then you live your life as someone that earns 70K. If you're not comfortable living on 70K, then tell yourself, I need to do all I need to do to make more money. Oh, how can I make more money? What should I be doing? What skills should I acquire? Where should I go and look for a job? What are the tools I need? What should I put in place? How do I manage my time? Because some of these things, boils down to how well you are managing your time as well. Okay, maybe I should reduce the time I spend with friends in the evening, my time at the bar, my time at the pepper soup joint. Maybe I should reduce it. Maybe I should reduce my TV time, my time on Netflix, or my time on YouTube, on social media. Oh, maybe I should pay more attention to this, I should pay more attention to that. And if your own concern is health, oh, maybe you should sleep more. Oh, I just need more sleep. But how can I adjust my time, so I can get more sleep? Or eating habits. Oh, what should I do? Oh, or it could even be some things that we don't pay attention to. Some of you cook with aluminum pot at home. Some of you eat in plastic. You put plastic in microwave and you keep reading these things and seeing content, condemning it, but you still do it. Some of you buy food in all these things and you're not paying attention to it. So you may want to take a course and think through these things. What should I do? Oh, let me change, the things I use at home. And it's not expensive. If you cannot afford to buy glassware, go for stainless. Stainless is cheap. It's affordable and healthy. So if you don't do some of this little research, how will you even know what is good for you? So this is what work-life balance is about. Nobody will do this for you except you. We can only talk about it, but it is your own primary responsibility, to balance it. Friendships. At some level in your career, you move with recommendations. I was at a place at an event and a lady was talking to me and she said, all the jobs she's got in her life, it's been a boss taking her. So the way it works is it's not the same boss. For example, she started somewhere and then one of the bosses that left for somewhere else called her, oh, there's this role, come and join me. She joined. She was there again. She worked with another set of people. Another boss left to somewhere else. I called her, come and join me, right? And then like that, she said that has been a whole pattern. So you need friendships. You need to build good community around yourself. So you need to work on your own behavior yourself. Are you that person that people are comfortable with? Or are you so toxic yourself? You need to work on those things. This is what I call balance, work-life balance. And I want to show you this equilibrium table for well-being. If you find yourself as a person with high boundary control and high well-being, that means you're doing fine. High boundary control means you have a balance. You figured out how to balance things. Your work, family, health, spiritual, social, well-being, everything. Then you're doing well. But if you're someone with high boundary control and low well-being, you're also doing well because you're on your way to, your well-being. If you're someone with low boundary control and low well-being, you are not doing well at all. Those are the people that suffer from burnout. Burnout is a wicked thing. Burnout is you have a lot, but you cannot lift a finger. Mentally, you are not even ready. Everything is confusing, for reasons you can't even explain. mental health issue, everything is eating you at the same time. It's burnout. And it happens to workaholics a lot, or people that have not paid attention to thinking things through. When you think things through, it becomes even easier, to plan, to know what to drop at what point. Oh, if I drop this, it's not easy, but the body will adapt, or my thinking, will change. And over time, I get used to it. Some people don't eat meat, not because of any religious beliefs or affiliations, but because they know it's not just good for them. Then study your body. What works and what doesn't work. Go for checkups. Some checkups, some people realize, I shouldn't keep some pets in my house, and then they stop keeping pets for those reasons. So pay attention. And if you find yourself as to be someone with low boundary control but high well-being, low boundary control but high well-being, it means that well-being, you will soon lose it, because it's that low boundary control that will gradually steal away the health and well-being with time. So it's important to find a balance. And how do you find a balance? Pay attention and always tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself, when no one is telling you the truth, tell yourself the truth. This is the truth. Let me do what is right. It may not be easy, but gradually, But how do you even tell yourself the truth when you don't have the knowledge? That's why we say, seek knowledge all the time. In all of this, we are saying that research is important. And when we say research, it's a big word, but it's not too much of a big activity at just the peripheral level. You have your phone with you. You have, that expensive phone, or even the affordable one. Any phone you have, then you can access internet, you can access Google, read as much as you can. Okay. And building a personal brand. At some point in career, you then have to build your own brand. It is important for you. When I was talking about mentoring and selecting a mentor, I said there are some mentors that you may not have access to them. Some of them are no longer even alive. But their works, you can still follow their works, and it will help you on your own path. So it's important to build a brand for your own good and for the good of posterity, or people that, will need you when you are here and when you're no longer here. And to build a personal brand, it's important that you are aware of yourself. Discover yourself first. That's why we emphasize self-leadership in leadership. That personal leadership, it's critical, it's important. There's no how you will be a good leader without leading yourself first. And how do you lead yourself if you're not aware, if you're not self-aware? So the journey to self-awareness, if you are not there yet, is what you should, embark upon. For some people, it's a long journey. For some people, it might be easier, but you should. So define what your purpose is. You need your life mission, your life vision as well. And when you can define that, the activities, your way of life, your day-to-day will then, be tilted towards that. Oh, this is how I want to be seen. This is how I want to be addressed, right? This is what I want to do. This is who I want to become. And to become this is what I need to do, And then audit your current brand equity. Where are you currently? What are you worth as an individual? Not just in terms of possessions, but in terms of the qualities. Your brain, if you open your mouth, what comes out of it? How broad is your mind? How do you think? What do you command when you open it, when you enter a door or you enter into a space? Who do people see? Yeah. So you want to begin to think, where are you currently compared to where you want to get to? And it differs for different people. For some people, they like to be addressed as crazy, right? And they walk towards it. They become, area father. This is, For some of them, they are still even in their gentle state. They are still in their professional, self. But they like it. Area father, say father, and they begin to walk in that, like, okay, I should be donating to people in the community. Okay, attending the street festival. When I enter there, they will say, they say that, they say father, they throw money at them. Oh, yes. Or there are some spots you just have to be at. to be popular. Those are some extremes. Why for some people, you're building a particular brand. This is you. Oh, you want to be known as this person. Oh, this is how I should carry myself. Oh, these are the things I should do. These are the books I should be reading to acquire the necessary knowledge that I need. Okay. Or you want to be in certain spaces. You don't speak well. Oh, this speaking is a challenge. When you open your mouth like this, the way you talk, the kind of accent that comes out of your mouth, is not may not be acceptable in certain settings, whether you like it or not. People still judge. There's what they call unconscious bias. People still have some unconscious bias, on the way you talk. There's this age-long belief about first impression. And even in professional setting, some people at the peak of their career, they don't eat it. They don't eat it just because of, personality. They don't, because of their personal brand. I used to know an executive that was not confirmed as an acting MD just because of accent. They won't tell you this. These are intangible, but because I'm in HR space, I know that was the reason. So you want to do your audit of your current self and give yourself time, okay, to build yourself. But how do you do that if you don't even discover your purpose, who you want to be, right? Then tell your story. That's the second point. Construct your personal narrative. And when we talk about telling your story could be what it is currently, or in retrospect, right? You want to become the president of, or let me say the CBN governor. Yeah, so tell that story backwards. Oh yes, currently I'm a director of banking, clinical division, and all of that. But and then this is it. I need to play some politics. Yes, it's healthy to play some office politics. Oh, this is it. I need some association. I need some backend. And okay, I go this way. Okay. Oh, I'm doing good. Oh, performance. Oh, in terms of work, we moved this direction. We moved that way. Oh, there's a policy I pushed for. Oh, myself and the team. We did this, we did that. Oh, yes, we are feeling the impact in the sector, in the industry. Yes, I'm pleased with it. That's a narrative. Oh, I became this, I became that. When they need this, oh, the first thing that comes to anybody's head is this person's name. Right. That's in retrospect. It doesn't happen. And there is another way to craft your personal narrative, which is you are currently there and you're building it. And you can narrate, you can tell it through different channels. And then embody your brand. You should be your own brand ambassador, right? You know it. This is where you are, that's where you're going to. And be your own ambassador, right? You don't take what you shouldn't take. You command the kind of respect you should command. And you walk away when you need to walk away. Embody your brand, present yourself, make that impression, as you should. Represent your brand always, your personal brand always. Meaning that I used to have a boss that would tell you, even there's nothing like emergency that will make him not to dress well to leave his house. There is no, maybe fire outbreak. In fact, if someone is calling us, even if they are calling him from the presidency that, come, he will still dress well to go. And he said, he learned it the hard way. He never paid attention to some things. He dresses well, but he never paid attention to the fact that regardless, even if you are going to get a haircut, still dress well, because you don't know who you're going to meet on the way to the place. And you don't know that point where you will have a conversation that was going to change your life forever. Maybe not immediately, but a flashback on that discussion might change your life in the future. What kind of impression do you want to make each time? How do you comport yourself? So the man was saying, since that day, he told himself, he went out, he came to work. He was having a bad day, so he just came to work. And it was on that day that the CEO told him to go and represent him at a high level, meeting, high profile kind of people meetings. And it was and he didn't have time to quickly change or to shop. He just had to be there, to be on time. He said he was so embarrassed. Number one, his self-confidence was almost depleted as he entered. You know, there are some rooms you enter. And, you know, but there is a way that dressing boosts your confidence a bit. And then knowledge aids it. Knowledge backs it up. Then discipline over a period of time then helps you. You know. And so he said since that day, even if he's having a bad day doesn't mean he will not still dress well. And you know, dressing well is relative. Dressing well in a way that his mind tells him, I am okay, I look well. You know, and there's a way you look well that nobody will even rubbish you. And he has testimonies afterwards. So one of the testimonies afterwards was one of these high-profile events, one of the Lagos parties. He went as a staff. While they were bouncing his buses not to drive in, not to park in their driver's side, he was, allowed to park in. And his boss of his bosses were like, how did they allow you here? We had to park in the parking lot. Yeah. And the way he even came out, it is about with everything, Yeah. And that speaks to everything, The next one is build a digital identity. We're in a world, I said, the world is evolving, that at some level, you need it. You need a digital presence to communicate your brand. Having a digital presence is a way to reach out more, within a short period of time. You wonder when we talk about global talent mobility, when we say mobility, movement doesn't necessarily mean you relocate. You could be here and working in another place. You could be here, like I'm here, you are in different locations, but we're communicating. It's happening, right? And the same way, when you put yourself out there, you still need humans, right? But it helps, networking becomes even much more easier, that way. I've helped a lot of people. I've also received help myself from the digital space without having met some of these people before. I've helped them. I've also received some help before as well. I've built some friendships over the years. And we met in the digital space. And meaningful friendship over the years, professional friendships, we've done businesses together. So build it as you're building your brand, pay attention to it. Think of the things you need to put in place, the channels where you want to, be and be there. And when I say be there, it doesn't mean you have to be there yourself. You can employ someone. If you don't like the social media thing, just employ someone and from time to time check on it, because you are your own brand ambassador. So even if someone else delegates it to someone else, still put your eye. Know what they are chatting on your behalf. Know how they are responding to people on your behalf. Know what they are posting on your behalf. Build your audience. When you build a good brand, digital brand, of course you will have audience. Some will be digital, some may not be. Some may be from workspace, maybe from the place of association elsewhere. Pay attention to them. Know that you have an audience and pay attention to them. Part of paying attention to them is continue to grow your brand, continue to comport yourself well. Let it be that when they say Mr. Haike Ogona, there is a particular behavior that is expected. It will not behave contrary. There are you should have some things you shouldn't, be known for, and there are some things that you should be known for. And when you're talking of knowledge, some things should not come from your space. Just know those things. Define you, know what works. Establish credibility. It takes a while. And when you build it, do not let anything destroy it. Be consistent, focus on quality. Quality matters a lot. And just know that a good brand sells itself. You do less work, when you've done the most work on your personal self. So let your output begin to sell your brand for you. And then constantly reevaluate and adjust your brand. As the world is moving, move with the world. Don't be in 2004 while you're in 2024. You're in 2024, don't be in 1992. Adjust, evolve with the world, reevaluate, be flexible, and move, across different generations with their different traits. Don't say because they are Gen Z, you cannot relate with them. Find yourself, a space in the middle at all times. So building a personal brand is very important. For some people, they are lucky enough, they'll start early. For some people, regardless of where you are at a career level, having your personal brand is very important. When they mention your name, the people that have encountered you before, whether physically or in a social space, let them be able to say something positive and that aligns with who you know you are or what you know about your own brand. It is very important. And there is no how we talk about career planning without mentioning retirement planning. Very important. And you ask me, when should you start retirement planning? From day one. For people that are just entering their career, start from day one. For people that are, midway, anytime you wake up and start it. And if you are close to retirement, it's better you start planning when you wake up than not even planning at all. Why should you plan? So that retirement will be smooth. Why should you plan? So that you will be fulfilled even in retirement. Why should you plan? So that you will live some years happily after retirement. And what should you do? Importantly, a lot of people emphasize planning finances only. When you hear retirement planning, what readily comes to people's mind is money, put the retirement savings account, or put money aside, save, 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 save. Yes, that's also important. Money solves a lot of problems. But pay attention to your health as well. Pay attention to your relationships. So this retirement planning, one way or the other, if you do work-life balance well, if you balance it well, your retirement planning will also be easier because you would have paid attention to managing your, financial status or financial well-being, managing your social well-being, managing your physical well-being, manage your emotional well-being, and even career well-being. If you can manage and have some stability there, retirement planning becomes even much more easier for you. Right. So this is like a topic on its own, Save from day one. Have it in mind that one day you will stop working. And when you're planning, plan that anything could happen. What if you can no longer work? So that's why it's good to start early, right? What if? So if I can no longer work, even ahead of retirement, what can I do? What can I put in place? What of your health? What should you do? Lifestyle should change, choose a wellness path. And the wellness path is an easy path. It's even an affordable path. Some people say it's expensive, but if you look at it well, it's not that expensive to live healthy. Exercise. It doesn't have to be with the gym equipment. Even if you don't have gym subscription, exercise. Move your body intentionally. That's exercise. Pay attention to your habits, day-to-day habits. It's important. Savings. I'd mentioned it earlier. If you can pay tithe in church, also pay yourself. Also create an emergency fund. If you can start with 10%, and then as your finances grow, you can then increase, what you put in there, and then investment. Invest your savings, invest. When you invest, then your money multiplies itself, and it leads to more money, Have yourself a good house. And if it is rent, plan your rent, for a period of years. If you want to live 100 years, plan it. Even if inflation happens, okay, I'm still covered. If you don't want to own a home. And if you want to own a home, plan towards it. But what are people doing? Oh, is there a mortgage facility? Can I work with NHF? Is it possible? Is it working? If it's not working, what can I do? Can I join a cooperative? Okay, can we move it to certain areas so that I can get it immediately? Or do I want to wait till I can afford certain occasion? Okay, so plan it. With planning, you put a timeline to it. Other things being equal, you will achieve it if you follow through and with the help of God, right? And your emotional well-being as well. You want to pay attention to your friends, to family. You want to pay attention to the community that you keep, the association that you keep as well. Invest in people and you will reap it, even when you're not, thinking about it. It's important. And like I mentioned, when should you start? Now. Now, anytime you wake up is your morning. Just start. Even if you're 1 year to retirement, it's better you plan it at any time than not planning it at all. And I tell people, especially for those that are close to retirement, when you retire, even if you don't have clarity of what you want to do with your savings, and if you've kept that discipline of 7 and you don't even know what you want to do with it, the first thing is fix it with your bank. Leave it there. Invest it with your bank. Your first 6 months post-retirement, just stay away. Depending on your wallet. If you want, you can travel. Just travel away from some known faces of people. And if your wallet is not big, you want to go to a quiet place, and you could even stay in the comfort of your home and low key for your first 6 months. Let your first 6 months be that period of your reality. Oh, yes, I've had a beautiful career. Oh, I've had a rough career. Okay, so what next? What next? Use the 6 months to perfect your planning. Because no matter how long you've been planning, when the reality is, when you enter into retirement phase, you still need to then sit down and in the reality, now reevaluate the plan that you've been having or you've been making sense. It's important, it's critical, right? And watch the company you keep, the people you keep. We've seen a lot has happened though, to retired people. Some people after retirement, their standard of living just drops. And for some people after retirement, they die too early, not because they don't have money. For some people, it's lack of activity. And when the body becomes stiff, all those sickness, ailment, disease start to, show face, start to manifest. So activity planning is also part of it. The first 6 months is what you use, to plan properly, face your reality. All the plans you've been doing, just bring them up. Okay, now we are inside the reality. For 6 months, you've already planned yourself. Okay, money is coming, this is my salary for the first 6 months, and then how do we go afterwards? What are the activities? For some people that cannot go into entrepreneurship or start anything or go into volunteering, you can't even do much of physical activities. What will you still fill your days with? You don't just want to sleep, wake up and watch Netflix and eat and walk around the town and go back. No, you want to plan it. And that's why we encourage people that while you are still working, create time for associations, create time for community. If you're a Christian, join a church community or a fellowship or something. If you are a Muslim, participate in those groups. If you are none of these two, you could join a club, a community club. Commit to something. Commit to a course, commit to a group, volunteer, so that when you retire, it's easier for you to just carry on, and you remain fulfilled. And for some people, retirement will come early. Why? Because some people will hit the peak of their career very early. And I tell those people, when you hit it, start another career. Start it. If you become an ED in financial services very early, some people become EDO before 40. They retire before 40, 39, 40. We are now seeing 41, right? Start another career. Of course, you're not starting from the scratch. Build again. Just continue. Depending on what if you want to go into entrepreneurship, good. Some people don't like to be entrepreneurs. So whatever it is you want, some people don't want to go into craft services, vending services. Start, and then start at your status. Just be real to yourself. So this is important, and it's part of well-being, and it's part of career planning as well. Career planning talk is not complete when we don't talk about retirement planning. Okay, at this point, I'll say thank you. I think I've done 2 hours. Ekundayo, you didn't put a time check on me. So I'm going to take questions or comments
I think we're just all enjoying the session.
Okay.
I think we're just enjoying the session. Thank you very much, Bemi. That's like a whole body of knowledge that was literally summarized for us, and I think everybody literally enjoyed the session. I would say, can we pause our questions? Let's put the hold on it, and let's just have Mr. Larry or just give us a little overview as well. I think on the subject matter of how to be a sought after talent. Yeah, so then we can just round up with that and then take our questions at the end. Just have a round question and answer at the end of the session. I think it'd be better that way, so we make the most of the time that we have. Hello, Larry.
Hi, please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming on.
All right, good afternoon, Ekundayo.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. And I want to say a big thank you for having me to be part of the conversation this morning. Yes, I've been on the call for over 1.5 hours. And if we are to end this session now, I want to believe Madam Bimi Ibrahim has done a good job. Even to some of the items that I have on my slides. But nevertheless, I will just take 15 minutes to highlight a few things. And some of the things that she has iterated, you will also see. So I want to say, beyond this call, I don't know what has been your career path before now, but it is a real privilege that even me have been a career development person for years. As I am on my system, I was glued, listening, coming back to check the slides where she's still speaking to, from career mapping to SMART goals, to building your own profile, your brand, and what have you. So I want you to hit the chat box and give your e-clapping to Madam Beni. She has done a great presentation this morning. I don't know even if I would need to say a few things. I think she has said it all. I can't see any comments. I want to see your reactions. I want to see your kudos if you are still on the call, just to be sure that we don't have ghosts on the call. I can only see Ekundayo, which other person is here? Ekundayo only that is on the call. Abubakar, Ahmed, Bahago, Josephine, Joseph, Lola, Siaka, Utibe. I can't seem to see. Okay, I can see Utibe clapping, and just 2 people. Does it mean? Yes, thank you, Tawid. All right, thank you, everyone. It is a privilege to be here, and what I will just do in the next few seconds is to add to this conversation. Like I said, what we have had so far, so I will not be going through all my slides. I will just speak to it, and I need you to be part of this conversation. I need you to react. I need your input. I need your engagement. Thank you, Siaka Salami. So once again, my name is Larry Ojulo. I lead the learning and development team at Polaris Bank, and it is my pleasure to join us on this conversation this morning on how to become a sought-after talent. In the few minutes I will speak, I would like to also, I'll be sharing my experience. I'll be telling you what I've done and how it has also helped me. But before then, let's look at this. I hope you can see my screen. Ekuna, please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
All right. How it used to be 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago. But when you talk about career development, how it used to be. I want to see comment in the chat box. If you want to unmute and say something, you are free. I think we are less than 30 on the call. Okay, now we're even less than 20 on the call. If you want to say a few things, talking about talents, how to map your career, everything, the past 10, 15, 20 years, how it used to be. You have comments in the chat box, or anyone wish to make comment. All right, I'm seeing Olumide's comments. Thank you. The session was mind-blowing. Big thanks to the facilitator. Yes, I could testify to that. Even though I'm not a participant, I'm here to speak. I enjoyed some of the conversation so far. The conversation so far from Madam Bemi Ibrahim has been awesome. So, like I said, I put something up. I don't know if you are still there. Put something up, how it used to be. When you talk about career in the past 20 years, what comes to mind? Am I the only one on the call?
No, you're not.
I want
Let's
to,
try and make it an interactive session. Let's make
so
the
I want to
most
be
of the little
sure I'm
time
not
we have left.
speaking to myself. Yes.
No, you're not.
Thank you, Akindai.
So let's hear from, the participants.
If you are not seeing anything, I will mention names. I will mention names and shame the devil. So I will call on Abdul Kadri. Abdul Kadri, can you just tell us how it used to be?
Well, how career progression, how it used to be in the past.
Yes, before now.
Is get your job and develop in your job. When you that's what it was. Do your job very well, get promoted, and that's it. If you have good friends and you can change your workplace, you change it on the same path.
Well, thank
That's
you.
what I felt was before.
Yeah, thank you, Abdul. And that's exactly what you have said. But the reason why I'm asking this question is that it is no more how it used to be. Things are changing, things have changed, and it will continue to change. Can I have one more person? Can I call on Belu Omotola? Belu Omotola, if you are not, if you are on the call, if you can hear me loud and clear, I want you to tell us how it used to be, even if it's not you, how probably your parents, when it comes to career. Is there anything different from what Kadri said? Belu Omotola, please confirm you are still on the call. All right, I can see comments from Olumide. Olumide, thank you. Internet and social media has played a significant role in recent years in terms of career path and progression. It's like Belu Omotola, thank you, Olamide. Belu Omotola is not on this call. All right, thank you, everyone who has contributed. Let me just go straight to some of the things that I have. I promise not to take more than 15 minutes of our time because what we have discussed so far. Before now, it used to be go to school, study a course, even if it's a course that you wanted to study in university or polytechnic. For instance, you want to study medicine, they ended up giving you a official where your parents persuade you to just take it instead of staying at home, you pick it up, you graduate. At times, because your parents, they want you to be a medical doctor, or you have a father who was a lawyer, wanted you to also be a lawyer, and based on affiliations, this is what we are known to be engineers, and just what your parents feel they are gods. That's how it used to be. No little consideration for the personality. I will not be speaking to this because Madam Bimi has spoken to you. Having self-awareness, it's going to help you a lot. Before now, there was nothing like consideration, little or no consideration. And this most times, most of us on this call, you choose that particular course that you study in the university because of, oh, my friends in the secondary school, they want to go and study accounting, or they want to go and study engineering, and that's where you decide to. If you're on this call, you're in that category, I want you to hit the chat box and say you are talking to me. So now it has changed because things are changing. And why am I saying this? We need to be dynamic when it comes to this, and I'm going to briefly show us this. In the next 1 year, this data was about 2020, the ones for 2030. I'm just picking this so I will know what the World Economic Forum is saying. The next 10 in the next 1 year, the top 10 skills, analytic thinking, active learning, complex problem solving, critical thinking. And if you check the list are inaccessible, you can see for 2040, if you go to this particular platform, you will see for 2030, and you will discover that geography and regional planning that you study from Ogun State University, or LBC, or Labanjo, or that particular course, zoology that you study, might not be relevant in our economy. Yes, some of those courses are relevant in other economies, but in our economy and in the world generally, you need to consider what is happening, what is going to take place in the future. What is we saying is there are types of skills that are being categorized into problem-solving skills, self-management skills, working with people, technology use and development. You cannot overemphasize the use of technology when it comes to the skills, the top skills that we have in this world, programming. So if you want to be sought after talent, you need to know what are the top 10 skills in my current world of work. 40% of current workers, core workers, are expected to change in the next 5 years. So even with these, in the next 5 years, it will change. And something comes to mind. The world is dynamic. So you must be dynamic to be a sought out talent. The skill dynamism, as he's talking about being dynamic about what you do, the change, the future of work cannot be overemphasized. I will tell you my brief story. When I wanted to enter the university, I wanted to study law. Something happened, jump happened, this one happened. I ended up studying English arts. After coming out, I did my master's in psychology, and today I'm in HR. If I tell you the story, how it all ended, I didn't want to go to school to study English, but because some of the things that I narrated to you the other time, I wanted to be a lawyer because that was what I saw with my parents, and I wanted to pick up a career in that line. And today I'm practicing HR because I need to find myself. I need to find myself. As my next question, we go to what is your one key strength? What is your weakness? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What led you to taking that decision? I will tell you, taking that decision to study law primarily, well, because of influence, parental influence, and what have you. But what made me to eventually venture into HR was as a sort of what I've considered my strengths and weaknesses. Those are the things that I consider. So if you want to be a sought after talent in the world of work today, you need to consider. The last speaker spoke elaborately on that, so I'm not going to take time. Please know yourself. The first point of call is self-awareness. If you are aware that this is who you are, it will help you because your personality will be aligned. Probably if time permits me, I will share some of the sites that you can do self-assessment. Go online, just enter your email address. You have free accounts. You can assess yourself, and the platform will give you a report. Though it might not be a detailed report, you have an overview of who you are. If you have not done that, please go and do that. It will help you in knowing the kind of skills that will be suitable for you to become sought after. Career requirement, you must be deliberate about this. Skills, knowledge, and ability. Two things rather that you need to take note: continuous upskilling, learn new things. If you want to be sought after, you need to keep learning new things. Don't say, oh, P3 accounting, that's what I've known. There are so many things that have changed. Oh, if you're in the world, oh, there was this particular, when I started practicing HR, the first platform that I work on is not even available. If I mention the name, you'll be surprised. Later on, we'll move to Human Manager. Even Human Manager, they have remodeled the platform today. And every day, we check online, different HRS platforms are coming up, different innovations, AIT, digital landscape is changing everything. So if you don't learn new things, if you're just, oh, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I remember when in the secondary school, you used to teach us typewriter, how to type, column AJ, all those stuff. And if you sit down there, you discover that, oh, the world has moved, we moved on. So if you are still stuck, for instance, that today, if you are still stuck with Excel, you are still stuck with PowerPoint, you are behind, because there are organizations today that will tell you, we don't make use of Excel, you must make use of Power BI, the minimum standard. You want mix of SQL, your data analysis, and what have you. So you must keep learning and you must keep reskilling. It's not a function of, oh, I want to outsource my learning to my organization. Like some of us will always say, if you are in this category, that's after all, they don't train me. If they don't train you, whose fault? It is your fault. It is not your organization's fault. Even if your organization is not training you, or advise people, young people, say, take responsibility, take ownership of your personal development. Number one, upskilling, and number two, reskilling. And I think the last speaker also spoke to this, build strong networks. What I'm going to say, networking is not just about collecting cars, collecting number. You need to demonstrate that you have value to give out. And one thing that you must notice, know when to access it. If you see on my side, network is like savings account. If you open a savings account today, if I meet you for the first time, I collect your number, you have my contact. What we have just done is to open a savings account. You need to make deposits into it. If you don't deposit into that savings account, you might not be able to withdraw from it. So know when to access it. When, oh, you have a balance, oh, my balance is robust, let me access it. What do I mean by that? It's not the time to start writing people on Facebook, please employ me, I'm looking for work. Yes, you can do that, you can write to people, but if you want to build quality network, what are you bringing to the table? In as small as sending text messages to say, I just want to ask after you, how are you feeling? I've not heard about you in the past few days. How are you feeling? I hope you are all right. Oh, happy new month, the month of July. Those messages, someone that sees your messages, every now and then will be expecting August, we'll be expecting September, we'll be expecting, and you are there to deliver. That's a kind of value, that's the kind of deposit that you make. And thereafter, you can now, oh, I want to go and withdraw. And I'll move on to say, making career choice in the changing world. We have said it over and over, and I will repeat it again over and over and over again, that you need to know yourself, ascertain your personality and interests, then seek knowledge. And this is not just acquiring certificates. Yes, from where I come from, people acquire certificates, a typical Yoruba man, but I must tell you, it is not just about certificates, it's about competence. Competence is also certificates. You discover that competence, but you still need certificate to give credibility to your competence. So while you are doing that, don't just seek the certificate, also competence, and not just competence, quality years of experience. It is not just years of experience, quality and professional years of experience that validates the kinds of certificates that you are carrying. She has also spoken to this. That's why I said the slides are prepared. She has said so many things on the slide, so I will not be going over these. I think she also mentioned this. You might think that this is not applicable to you. This is if you are conversant of the environment. Our political environment, our economic environment has an impact on you as a talent, as a career person, the environment, the technology, the social, the legal factors. You must be aware. I'm usually surprised when I see employees in Nigeria. They don't know what the implications of their offer of contracts. You need to go, and you don't necessarily need to be an HR person to know your right when it comes to employment contract, when it comes to entering into an agreement with an employer or what have you. Everything that has to do with the legal factors that speak, those are the things that you need to know. And that's the PERSU analysis. The SWOT analysis and the PERSU analysis, most times we think is just for businesses. You can bring it down and apply it to yourself. If you want to be a sought out talent, you must consider the political environment where you operate and our economy. You want to switch from one economy to the other. You also need to give it a thought. Oh, it's not just, oh, I want to jack everybody's jack mine. No, it's not just about, consider the economy over there. Consider our economy. Consider other political factors, the social factors. People are isolated. I have friends in Europe who are crying. I say, I'm lonely. You also need to consider some of these things. They affect your career and they affect whether you become a sought out talent or not. See, speaking about strategic analysis, your internal and external, you need to also know your strengths. We have said it over. There are opportunities. As of today, I work in the HR team in the bank where I am an employee at the moment. I can tell you we have gaps. I can tell you free of charge, we have gaps running to hundreds. You know, unfortunately, we don't have quality candidates to fill them. And unfortunately, again, the high level of unemployment in Nigeria is so high that where is it mature? Your ability to identify the opportunities in our country today and put yourself out there and exploit these opportunities. By identifying these opportunities, you will see that there's a particular trend, there's a particular skill gap that is being required for certain roles. If you don't have it, you'll not be, oh, we'll say, oh, experience, yes, leave the experience, get the basic things and see how things will pan out. So I want to encourage everyone on this call, do a strategic analysis of our environment, the way we do it. For instance, if I want to move into project management, I want to switch career from HR, practicing HR person into career management, I explore the opportunities. And I also look at the threat. The threat that will be against me will be, oh, I don't have project manager experience. And some of the things I need to consider, if I need to switch, I might need to have a pay cut. And so you need to analyze and weigh your options. But eventually, if I eventually, for instance, cross from HR to project management, I'll be hot kick. Just for it. I'm just giving you an example of what, for instance, I already have intention of also going into software development platform for HRMS for organizations, for SME. If I move with my background, that means that I need to learn coding, I need to learn Python, I need to learn Java, and what have you. I need to consider the opportunities. I also look at the threats as well. If you are still with me on the call, I want you to hit the chat box and say, Larry, I am with you. Can I get a few comments? Just to be sure you are still with me on the call. Okay. Thank you, Madam Bemi. Thank you, Noah, Ekundayo, Chinasa, Otebio, Bele, Kadri. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I know that I'm not speaking to myself. So let's proceed. I have a few more slides to take us through talking about your vision and goals. You must set short, long-term goals. You must determine your values. What I've discovered is if you want to be a sought-out talent, you must discover what drives you, what's your driver, what are your enablers, what are your values. If you have the values of integrity, let it be known that you are a man of integrity. You will discover that people will look for you. If you want to stick to accountability, stick to it. And people will need, in our profession, in the bank, we need people accountable. We need people of integrity. And likewise, some of these values that is it's become something else in our society. People need them. They need accountable people. They need people who have respect for human beings. In our profession as HR people, we respect people. And those are the values. So stick to it. Let it be known that wherever you find yourself at home, you are a person that says, this is what I am standing for. I don't take what belongs to me. You discover it's going to help you as well. Then identify the competencies that are critical to needed skills, make plans to achieve these goals, and it is never too late to start. Don't say, oh, I am 40, I'm 45, oh, I'm 25. I wasted a whole lot of years looking for admission. I don't want to. No, you can start today. Make your decision. If you want to change your career, you believe, oh, what you are doing at the moment might not sell. Having identified the threats, the opportunities. If you want to change, you can change. But remember to seek a mentor, get a counselor to put you to highlight some of the issues that you might experience. So let's do all of that before you change. But remember, I will say this, it is never, never, never too late. And according to Tony Robbins, you can see on my screen, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. If you want to become a sought-after talent today in Nigeria, you can do that. And everyone will be looking for you. Not only in this country, you become a sought-after talent here in Africa and in Europe. You can be. All you need to do is, what are those talents? What are the skills and competencies that people are always looking for and they cannot find? It's all over to you. And whatever career choice, think and embrace trends. Be awake to things around you. Don't say, what is this AI that they are talking about? Please look at it. Even if you are not interested, just know it. Internet of Things, machine learning, what have you. Don't say, I don't want to know all these things. There are just too many. I just want to stick to the way I've been doing my things. No. You need to embrace trends. The trends, the usual trends on social media, you also need to embrace it. Like some weeks ago, I was asking, what's the meaning of these things that they are talking about? And someone in my team is, this is, okay, that's how to learn. Don't say, these people, they just be coming up with so many things. There was a time that Lamba, I say, which one is Lamba again? I was asking, please tell me about Lamba, because I don't want to be left out. Those are social trends, so to speak. And you have technological trend, you have career trend. You have so many things that are trending. Don't be left out. Don't be caught unawares. Don't be caught unaware about the political trends in Nigeria and all over the world. What is happening in the Middle East, in US, in Europe? Don't be left out and say, why are they shouting? You just hear people are shouting by the weekend. But I thought Premier League has said that. I will tell you, it's Euro 2024. Don't be left out. Just know, even if you are not a soccer fan, know this is what is happening at this particular moment. You never can tell where it will be in your career and continuous study. I lead the learning and development team, and I can tell you, if you want to be a sought-out talent, there is something I've mentioned. You take ownership. Don't outsource your continuous learning to your organization. Once you stop learning, you start dying, according to Albert Einstein. And I will round off by what Professor AMS Rao said, Vision 2030. He says, your hard skills help you to acquire employment, and your soft skills help you ensure your employability. Hence, integrate hard and soft skills to fast track your career, according to Professor AMS Rao. I repeat it again, and you have it on the screen. Both skills matter. Your hard skills help you acquire employment, and your soft skills help you ensure your employability. So what matters in the long run is not your ability to code alone, but your ability to hold relationship, have conversation with people. So we need, as someone, if you want to become a sought after talent in our world of work today, you need to integrate the hard skills and soft skills. And in fact, the soft skills, they are as much as important as the hard skills. The reason why some people will always remain on the shop floor, on the workshop, in the background is because they fail to learn relationship skills, leadership skills, human management skills, engagement skills. Please integrate these two, and you will see yourself becoming a sought after talent. You can become a sought after talent by being intentional and deliberate. Some final words: it's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will have career success in a dynamic world, but those who can best manage change as things evolve. I repeat again, this is my final word to you. It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will have career success in a dynamic world, but those who can best manage change as things evolve. Thank you, everyone. We can have few questions as we have questions for me, contributions, whatever. Over to you,
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Larry. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and professional insight with us. We really appreciate it. So we're open to questions and answers, everyone. I know we've had questions along the session so far, so it's time to share them. But I want us to start with Rachel's question. She's dropped off. She needed to join another meeting, but I want us to attend to it as well. So Demi, she dropped it on the chat. Do you want me to read it out? I think it's more directed to you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm going to read the chat now and respond to you.
It's the very first message.
Okay. Thank you very much for this conversation on career development. I've recently found that I'm very much interested in research and policy, and I'm currently trying to groom my research skills by watching and learning online, okay? However, I have also tried to push myself to write more, especially research articles and for blogs. However, It has been very difficult for me to complete my writings. This is amidst that I've been able to successfully write a number of 10 papers because I'm currently running my master's program. I would really appreciate if you can advise me on what I could do to push myself to write more. Okay, for writing, you just have to be committed to it. And there's something about writing to build your momentum when you want to develop writing not even competence, because from what you've said, you have the competence, relatively, but you want to build your commitment to writing. So write on a daily basis. Tell yourself you have to write on a daily basis. Start from 1,000 words per day. Give yourself that goal. The same way you commit to eating, even when you don't have the appetite to eat. You force yourself to eat because you want to stay alive. Tell yourself that for this goal, I have to write 1,000 words per day. 1,000 words is easy to achieve, especially that you are a researcher. You already write. So 1,000 words is even a piece of cake for you. So commit to it. And if you run a very tight and busy schedule, tell yourself it could be the first thing you do in the morning. I don't know your wake-up time. If your wake-up time is 3:30 or 4 a.m., tell yourself between 4 and 5 a.m., I need to write, right? Write it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start anyhow. And then when you're committed to it, when it becomes easy for you to, jump at your writing task on a daily basis, you can then begin to focus or pay attention to the quality. But just start by committing to getting to it first. So that's what I would say. And from this, you didn't say that you have you want to build writing skills. It's just the commitment. You want to be able to push yourself. So I would say that just commit to it. Just tell yourself. And it could be your late night. Maybe you have your resting time, and then before you eat the bed, finally, you want to write that 1,000 words. Start with it. And then with time, you can push it to 1,005 and then 3,000, and then you can stretch a bit more. Before you know what's happening, you write easily. Anytime you carry your laptop, you think you want to write, you start writing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to, watch the video and then she'll pick up the response. So any other questions from the rest of the audience to Bimi and Larry? We can answer your questions now.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Bemi and Larry. Yes, my name is Tawhid Orepson. I sincerely appreciate this session this afternoon. It's been a wonderful time. It's mind-blowing. My request is, please, I can see that these sessions are recorded. I wouldn't know if I can have the recorded video to replay it later, because at some instances I had to go off the session to attend to other things. So I wouldn't know if I could be able to get the mixed out content from the recorded videos. Thank you.
Yes, we'll make the recording available to you. So that will be shared. Ekunai, over to you.
Yes, any questions, please? Let's take more questions. This has been a very, very awesome session, in my opinion, and there should be questions for us to ask, really. We are not really much on the call, so that should even allow us to take more questions, right, per person. So let's rub minds here. Let's make it super interactive. If you're in a place where you can't speak, you can just drop it on the chat and I would read it out. So yes, please, let's okay, so there's a question from Ibube. Can you give us tips on how to network? And also, if you want to change your career, how would you go about it? Okay.
Is that for me or for Larry to answer? Should I
think
take
it's
it?
like a mix. Yeah.
Okay. To network, number one is to do anything at all in life, you have to be intentional about it, right? So put yourself out there. One way to network is you can network in person, and you can also network via virtual platform. But importantly, be graceful. Be graceful as you relate with people. Don't come across as a nuisance to people. There are some courtesies that you should have when networking with people, especially in the virtual space. Or even in, relating with people. It could be via phone call. Maybe you attended an event, you exchange call cards, and you thought to try to just put a call to the person after the conference or after that trip. Once the phone rings once and the person, didn't answer, don't call the second time, It's either the person doesn't want to pick your call, or the person is not with the phone, or the person is in a meeting. The person will return your call if they want to. And if you're very aggressive, because some people are quite aggressive, yes, it's not a bad trait. Give it some days, maybe another 2-3 days, and then put another call once. So there are some little courtesies that you just have to master, so that you don't, you can network and do it gracefully. And if it's in person, you attend an event, as much as possible, if it is possible, let it be worth your time. The fact that you left what you were doing, your office or your home or your school or anywhere you are, to attend a conference or an event. If it's a very large conference, possibly you may not have the opportunity to talk, but to that person beside you, say hello, say hi. Oh, this is me, this is what I do. If you have your card, exchange cards. When you go for lunch during or tea break, talk to people. Just say hello, say hi, this is what you do, right? You are not asking for favors, you're not asking for anything, you're just greeting people, and engaging in intelligent conversations. Don't go in the area of sensitive topics. If people don't discuss politics intelligently. Avoid some topics around gender, around sexuality, around religion. Avoid it just as much as possible. Be professional, and above all, be graceful. Being graceful includes the way you talk, your choice of words, your body language. What message are you passing across with your body language? How comfortable do you make, the person you're speaking with when you're with them? Even when you sit with people, sit as if you're sitting with people. Don't sit and make the next person uncomfortable. Be mindful of your posture. Be that person that people want to talk to. Even if you open your mouth to say hello to them, let them be happy that you said hello. Let them feel, oh, I'm blessed that this person is saying hello to me. And it's your courage. They don't even have to know you. So work on that. Be mindful of that. And for every event you attend, if it's a small event, if it's like a round table or a breakfast meeting or a meeting that allows audience to talk, open your mouth and talk. Say something. Ask a question or make a comment. Just say, make your presence known, even in your workspace. If you attend a meeting, you don't have to take all the time commenting or asking questions, but make your presence, known and memorable if possible. That's a way to do that. And for changing career, how to pivot into another career is, number one, by taking certifications is the easiest way, because you acquire knowledge, in a formal way. You then learn either in work groups and tutorials, or you self-study. So you acquire the body of knowledge required for that job, regardless of where you are currently in your career. It could be a mid-level. If you're pivoting, you have to acquire the body of knowledge in that space as well. And then in your free time or in your dedicated time, do your own research. Go on Google, find out what is happening in that industry. Check for job availability within that industry, and start applying, right? And seek for internship opportunities too. I mentioned it when I was talking that regardless of where you are, I told you of that HR executive that is into cloud computing now, and because he works in an IT firm, he is doing internship in his own organization where he is an HR executive, right? So that's another way to pivot into a new career. There are a lot of blogs, career blogs. Commit to it, subscribe to that blog. So even when maybe you're preoccupied, you're so busy, emails drops for you because you've already subscribed. And at your free time, it could be a quote, it could be a word, it jumps at you, it helps you think better in the direction that you want to. Read books, keep ahead of trends, and importantly, apply for jobs, and you will get it. That's when you're pivoting. Join associations. It also helps you. It helps you So I'm the VP for membership and volunteering at PMI, that's Project Management Institute, Nigerian chapter. I pivoted into project management not too long. It's barely 3 years. But because in everything we do, we call it project. What is a project? Anything that has a scope, time, and there's a budget attached to it, right? And that's what we're doing all through career. But to go into project management itself, I pivot. I started reading, right? Started reading blogs, taking short courses, and then I challenged myself to take the PMP. And the process of taking the PMP means I have to read extensively across the entire body of knowledge, right? And I can confidently speak. I know what to do as a project manager. Maybe I've been doing projects and project delivering, but maybe not following some technical steps and processes. But now I know better. And then I joined association, right? As the PMI Nigeria chapter, and because I'm not a starter, I've built career over the years, right? So when there was election for the board role, I just submitted. In fact, it wasn't even a heartfelt application that I did. I saw the thing kept dropping in my email. I just filled it, And then they voted. I was not surprised. They looked at the profile, they voted. The vote was good. I competed with an AGM in Access Bank. I think they're head of risk management division. Yeah. And that was it. And that's the benefit of an association. And then I've been with PMI, it's a 2-year tenure. I've networked across Africa, beyond Africa, right? Within the project management space, I've featured, in some of the publications. It's been a good experience. You would think I've been in the project management space for so long, just by virtue of association. So it's a way to pivot into a space as well. Right.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, so we have 2 more questions and we can just take those ones and round up. Any other questions, you can drop on the group chat. I will get a response and I will definitely get your answers to you. But let's round up with these 2 questions. So Bella says, what's your advice to someone who has stayed 15 years as a farmer sales rep with 10 years mid-level management experience, who wants to become more impactful, being more and earning more in and off the workplace in life, and can make out time for it?
Okay, for you, I would say that this is a personal exercise that we can work one-on-one to achieve, and it requires a commitment to it. We need to do some analysis of what motivates you, right? I have an idea. You want to become more impactful. You want to earn more, have more earning power, but I need to know your skill level. That you've been in farmer sales doesn't mean you don't have some skills. So we need to know those skills so that we find, a lucrative part that won't take you too far. Like I mentioned when I was talking, that when you're pivoting, don't pivot too far, from your experiences. You've spent 15 years. 15 years should also be useful when you pivot, Like I told you, I pivoted into project management with my knowledge of HR, writing an editorial over the years. It's helpful, it's working, So I can compete with someone. I know that this lady that has done this so far. Even when we attended the Africa strategy session, when it comes to people matter, when I open my mouth, they all listened, because I'm not, the experience is coming from, bring it to the table, let's listen to her. So your 15 years of experience, you can, but it requires a personal session, one-on-one. So I will do some analysis with you, and we can chat a way forward with you.
Thank you very much, Ma. So to the last question, when it comes in choosing career path, do you think it's advisable to what you're passionate about or the demand of the labor market? And what do you think do you think it is ever too late to change career path?
It is never too late to change a career path. I told you of people that retire early, not because they wanted to, but because they grew too fast in the system. Some people became ED at 29. Late Kayode Farm became an ED at Goldman Sachs at age of before 29. He retired officially at age 29, right? And then he went to UAE to help some sheikhs to start their business. So he became entrepreneurial, right? He did some training, started training people in here of treasury, training dealers, the chief dealers in financial services sector across Africa and even in the UAE. And officially, he retired from retirement again, even before he clocked 50, right? And then he went fully into martial arts. He went and also guitar, he became a professional guitarist and into martial arts and into wellness. He built something because he's still young till he died of cardiac arrest at 52 or 53, So it's never too late. And there's another woman that retired at, a ripe age, and let's say in 57 or so. And she went into the trade of diamonds. She went to South Africa to learn it properly and gold and diamond. So it's never too late to start on another career path. So there's one leg to that question that I want to look at again to be sure I'm answering for passion. Yes, passion. Do you think it's advisable to follow passion or the demand in the labor market? So I would say that you can make money from anything. It's easier for you when you follow the path of passion. That's what I would say. Look at, and I'll give an example. They are real humans. You can check him up, Professor Lukono, and look at his history, look at his profile, right? He studied what they call CRK, religious knowledge, the degree version of it. Religious studies, the degree, yeah. And he's a professor at Harvard. He's accomplished, he's fulfilled, right? As a person, career, professional-wise, at least the one we know, So regardless, I will see people in music as well. If music is your passion, yes. And we even have examples that are even closer to us. There is this designer, you might know him, Atafo, my Atafo. He left a good career, what we will call a good career as a marketing director. I guess Guinness, MTN, he worked with Guinness, he worked with MTN. One more place, I'm not sure, BAT, those are big names, those are big companies, right? In Nigeria. And before he returned to Nigeria, he worked in the UK in some good organizations as well, right? But hey, passion is his passion. Who knew Maya Tafo before he became a fashion entrepreneur, before he became, a bespoke tailor? But now he is, he's made a fame. He has designed people. And even the story that he told, because I listened to his story, was while he was the director, marketing director, he was riding a Benz SUV, right? And but whenever any of his friends or younger colleague is about to marry, he volunteers to sew their tops for the groom's men and for the groom himself, and for every task he took on like that, he did excellently. He kept getting referrals. Oh, when I call mine, book my Simon, mine's video, but telling me that you want him to make your tuxedo for your groomsmen and for yourself. And said that is it. Within his community, within his space, he was known for making good, tuxedo and all of that. He knows how to do other things as well. But he told himself, if I want to make a business out of this, and he enjoys doing it, for every craft he creates, he said it fulfills it. It makes him happy, So he told himself, what's the strategy? It's a personal thing. It requires sacrifice as well. He then said, that was about the time that Genevieve magazine, Betty Rabo, he then went to her to say, let me work with you. And she was like, how can I pay you? Look at your car. Can't even afford you. And said, anything you have, give me. I'm going to resign from my job. And I'm going to be, your editor or something for Genevieve magazine. Why? What's that strategy? The strategy was, there's not how you'll be an editor for a fashion magazine or entertainment magazine, and you will not know celebrities at some point. So it wasn't there at that point to earn money, but he wanted to build visibility because it will help the kind of business that he has passion for, right? And that was what he did. He was with Genevieve magazine for 2 years or 18 months, right? At that point, he was already known. And people know, if you want to sew good stuff, said, go to mine. And then they later discovered, he can even do bridals. He can even do women's wear. He does even native very well. Oh, this and that. And then he left Genevieve magazine, started Atafo, the fashion house, and it's grown to what it is that's become today. And there are other people like that with stories. So it's better to follow passion because it's easier So it is if you don't, some people don't even know what their passion is. That is where the problem is. Follow the line of what is in demand in the labor market. But if you know your passion and your passion is driving you, even if your passion is writing, follow it. There is money, right? I just told you of the story of Ayobami Adebayo. She's not in New York. She doesn't do any other thing than write. She's popular, you know. They call her everywhere, you know, to anchor programs, you know. She makes tours. I see her everywhere. You can't even access her directly again. You know, you have to go through a team. And that team is not a small team, not a small publisher, you know. And it's interesting. So it could be anything. It could be anything that you call passion. It will drive you. It's better. It's only if you don't know your passion, then follow what is in demand. Check out, research to know the skills that will lead you there. And even if you know your passion, it's even better when you then own it. When you know your passion and it's driving you, do whatever it is. You make some initial sacrifices, but it pays off. I told you how the lady Ayobami left the banking job at the time when everybody wanted it. And she returned to school. She said she wants to do writing. I'm sure people would have said she must be crazy, right? But I hope I answered you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ma. Larry has his hands up.
Okay.
Larry, you want to say something before we round up?
Yes. Thank you, Ekunayo, and thank you, Madam Brimi, for those responses. I just wanted to chip in something on networking. On networking, everyone, we don't necessarily need to have everyone in the industry on your phone contacts. What I would recommend is please start from where you are in your current organization, even if you are not working at the moment, wherever you are, you have people there. Have good relationship with people. The people that you know today, that you are glued to today, that you show respect to today, they are the one that will recommend you tomorrow. So managing people networking starts, I would just say, start from where you are and be good to people. You never can tell where the next recommendation will be coming from. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Baby. Thank you, Larry, for making our time to make this session as very awesome as it is. One thing I can say is I know that about 70% of us on this call were really glued till the very end. That's just to show how, interesting and watching how impactful it really was. Thank you so much. And to all the participants that made time out to join, we appreciate you. I want to believe we've learned one thing or the other today. We've been open to things we were never open to. Now we have insights, right, into things that we probably didn't even think, oh, this was possible. There was some sort of visibility in this. I really appreciate everyone. And yes, we'll make this video available so that you can watch again, refresh yourself on things that have been discussed. And like I said, if there are any other questions, please reach out to me on the group chat. It's Annie. I'm the one that drops messages on the group. So reach out to me. I would pass your questions to the facilitators and then I'll get their responses back to you. And then also back to the issue of feedback on the platform. If there are still any feedbacks you want to give regarding the platform, the program itself, the courses, the projects, please let me know. Then I will definitely respond to you. I'm ready to respond to you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And I wish you an amazing rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.